This is Zurich Airport calling for Racing Unleashed Season 2023 Beyond the Pinnacle. Today we are racing right down here at the Zurich Airport Circuit, our own racetrack and home turf of Racing Unleashed. Ladies and gentlemen, start your simulators. Get ready for racing.
This is Racing Unleashed Beyond the Pinnacle.
And it is green and go. It's a good start from Rock already. So they make contact. Absolutely flying. He's a man on a mission at the moment. Right into the gravel. To what's happened up front? Oh, it's chaos. Can't overtake, he said. Augustin Torlacci, a very happy man. He's on the simulator as well.
This is Racing Unleashed.
I'm your host, Mathew Duffin, as we joined by Fabio Vertiga as well. Very good morning to you. Welcome to Racing Unleashed. It's going to be a fantastic show today. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin, once again joined by Fabio Vertiga here in the studio. Fabio, good morning.
Morning.
We're well?
Yeah.
Looking forward to the Racer League today?
Yeah, very much.
It's going to be a very interesting show. We've got a lot in store for you today and a lot coming up for you. We're going to be live in Kemptall with our Racing Unleashed colleague Roy over there. We'll get to chat with him a little later on in the rush hour build-up, as well to the race, which is happening today. Oh, speaking of the race, two drivers from the Challenger League get their chance to participate today. Augustin Torlacci and Marcus Valverde will get the opportunity to have a go in the Racer League, as we are here in the Zurich Airport Circuit, our home turf here at Racing Unleashed, a custom-built track for us right out that window just behind me there, right below us in the tower. It's a fantastic circuit of 7.6 kilometres in length and a very, very long track. Fabio, we saw great racing yesterday. What are we in store for today?
Well, today we have a little bit of a smaller pack. We only have, I guess, 17, 16 drivers. So we thought, okay, let's give the Challenger League drivers a chance to see where they are in terms of performance compared to the Racer League. So as you said, Marcus Valverde and Augustin Torlacci are taking part. Pletcher and Fallon, they pulled out. They could have had the chance as well. So very interesting to see where those guys would end up. But obviously they're not getting the benefit of starting from the front. They're only allowed to participate in the gear-up session, so warm-up session, etc. And then the race, not the knockout, and the race that will start from the last row.
And we're here at this fantastic circuit, custom built for us at Racing Unleashed. It's a brilliant layout. We said yesterday it's got a bit of everything, tight, twisty sections, fast flowing parts of the circuit, and a real high-speed part of the track where you're touching nearly 300 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, it's a fantastic track. I personally love it. It has a bit of everything, really. High speed corners, technical corners, very slow corners. And it's obviously a track that the guys don't know from real life. So it's hard for some people to actually, practice on it because you don't really have the references. You can't look at any onboards and see, oh, how did the guys do, in real life. So it's very challenging.
You've really got to be at the racing lounges to have a bit of a practice session on this circuit. It's not like you can be at home on your simulators at home that you may have in your bedrooms or living rooms where you can sit and practice Monza or Silverstone. You've really got to be at the lounges to get a real feel for this circuit here today. We are, though, going to take a look at something that happened yesterday, and it was a jump start for Yannick Pletcher that caused a bit of chaos for race control last night. First of all, we believe it was a glitch on his end at his simulator. You believe that he's gone to calibrate his wheel, which has rolled him backwards.
So maybe for the audience, we have to explain something here. Once you're on the grid, it's the driver's responsibility, basically, to manage your car, your steering wheel, etc. So there is a countdown on top that says 2 minutes, and in those 2 minutes, nothing really happens if he would shift, right?
Yeah.
But before the lights show, it's a 5 seconds gap maybe, then the car is basically released. So Yannick, we saw that on his data, he was on full throttle, maybe just wanting to, experience or feel the throttle a little bit. So he then potentially calibrated his steering wheel, and in that split second, maybe reverse was selected, and that's why he went backwards first, and then obviously might have been in a real shock, really, because doesn't really happen to him, maybe never happened to him before, and you're in this race scenario, you just want to go on, and then maybe he panicked and just went off.
And you see here, it was, I think we worked out at 8 or 9 second before the lights went green. He had a 10-second lead before he came in service drive-through. And like you said, it was that minute sort of time in between pressing both the paddles on his wheel that we don't even see him. We discussed this in the replays after the race yesterday. We didn't even see reverse selected. So that is how close a margin he's came on touching them paddles on his steering wheel to calibrate that wheel. We didn't even notice reverse was selected yesterday, but the data does show he has caught the reverse before before both together sort of thing. And because his foot is on the throttle, like you say, he's got to... He's been given a penalty, which we'll explain a little later on. But Fabio, we'll speak to you in the Rush Hour programme. Thank you for joining us this morning. So that was Fabio Vertiga there, and we are going to be in Kempthal, like we said, live with our Racing and League colleague Roy. Throughout the day, we get to speak to him in Rush Hour as well as a lot of build-up towards the knockout qualifying session and the race. Agustin Torlacci and Marcus Valverde, special guests today, cannot take part in the knockout qualifying, and also 2 knockout bans for Kevin Aby and David Ladamada then, as there is race control, already making sure that everything is set up and ready to go, and they'll be just checking everything in this gear-up session, making sure that everything is working correct on their end, make sure they have all the views and all the telemetry that they need to get the best out of this. Busy men yesterday. They was obviously dealing with the Yannick Pletcher incident and several incidents out there on the circuit as well. There was quite a few penalties in that knockout session, and I believe a couple in the race as well, giving drivers obviously the penalty points, which a few drivers was close to the limit in yesterday's Challenger League race. We'll bring up the roster for the penalty points later on in the programme, but from what I've seen off air, there are a couple of drivers very close again into the penalty point system at the moment, so they don't want anything today. The race result, though, final classification for yesterday, looks like this. It was Nico Forland who took that fantastic race win from the Hayder brothers, Lorenzo and Joshua, 2 and 3. Borges Orzo was P4 with Marcus Valverde, P5. Mario Stanek, 6th place with Mohamed Ramsey, P7, penalty to his name. Adrian Gomez, Augustin Torlacci and Yannick Pletcher with a penalty, dropping him from 4th to 10th as a result of the jump start. The bottom half of the field, Walter Troninger, P11 with Robin Doney, penalty to his name after a knockout ban, P12. Andreas Koch, P13. 14th and 15th, Roberto Miguez and Fabio Schlegel, penalties to their name. Michael Waversick was P16 before Andreas Prax with a penalty. In 17th place, Sylvain Proust, 18th, and Daniel Stanek rounding out the top 19 then. So that was the result of yesterday, and that result means that we said on air that if Yannick Pletcher finished 5th or lower and Nico Forland won the race, he'd lead the championship. And he does just that now, with Yannick Pletcher finishing in 10th place. Valverde and Torlacci have also caught him up. And here are the championship standings. Nico Forland, as you see, takes a 10-point lead in this current championship standings from Yannick Pletcher. Marcus Valverde is a further 11 points behind Yannick on 61. Augustin Torlacci losing out a little bit yesterday. He is only 8 points behind his Madrid compatriot Marcus Valverde. Then it's Borges Orzo on 46 with a few others rounding up the top 10. The bottom 10, though, is points all around for Mario Stanek, Rivoli, Gianluca Palmisano, wasn't there yesterday, Walter Troninger on 7, Thomas Herzog, Besnik Matezi, Tyler Klausch, Fabio Schlegel and Robin Doney rounding out the guys who have scored points this season. Andreas Koch, you see their 20th place, yet to score a point. So he'll be looking to get some points at Monza next time out. If you want to take part in Monza, the qualification period for the Challenger League opens on the 21st of August. So make sure you get to one of our 5 racing lounges in Switzerland, Munich or in Madrid. And make sure you get yourself signed up and ready to compete here at Racing Unleashed for the Challenger League. Race 6 at Monza coming in the beginning of September. And that qualification period, once again, that opens on the 21st of August and closes on the 30th of August. And that gives you the chance, if you're in that top 20 qualifier, it will give you an opportunity to be in the Challenger League and to race the drivers you saw yesterday. Get yourself maybe some prize money and a few points on the board. But Nico Farland, championship leader at the moment. Fantastic lights to flag victory, fantastic knockout qualifying session for him yesterday. It was an absolutely outstanding race for him. And we saw Angelo Mikel was in support of Nico Farland yesterday. He's obviously taken to the track a little later on and is the last time race winner at Imola. Can he repeat his good form and maybe get another race win today and propel himself up the championship standings? It's going to be an absolute fantastic one to watch with Schmiedel and Sanchez as well close to him in that knockout qualifying. They all start towards the rear end of the grid, and we'll bring you a classification table of what the knockout qualifying order will be shortly. So fantastic event yesterday at Zurich Airport Circuit. We saw a lot of overtaking opportunities, but one thing we didn't see too much was the push to pass as effective as it was at Imola. A lot of straights in use here, and a lot of drivers was using their push to pass all in the same sort of areas of the circuit, meaning that it was kind of not letting anybody gain anything or lose anything. As we head to Kemp Toll now, and I believe we can speak with our representative from Racing Unleashed, Roy at Kemp Toll. Roy, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Are you well?
So far, yes. How about you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Are we ready for the day of Racer League action ahead of us today?
I would say so. The drivers seem prepared. The simulators are working. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the race.
Obviously, we're going to speak with you a lot more in rush hour as well. But the atmosphere today, is it as good as it was last night? We saw a good party atmosphere last night again.
I'd usually say the Racer League atmosphere is very different. We have a bit of a quieter day than today, but the professionalism of the drivers make up for it, I'd say.
I know the drivers fully focused and ready to go, you'd say, for this one?
I would say so. They seem to be fully focused. I've not seen any distractions from the drivers yet, so laser focus.
Well, Roy, we will speak to you a little later on in the Rush Hour programme and get to know more about the racing lounges and what's in store in Kemp Toll. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you too.
So that was Roy there, our representative down in Kemp Toll then, who is basically running the show down in Kemp Toll's Racing Lounge. And if you want to go and meet Roy, like we said, go and sign up, go down to the Challenger League, or if you just want to come and watch the drivers and experience what it's like at these events, at these racing events as well, make sure you head down and just check it out at Kemp Toll. Madrid or Munich are the racing lounges today, or if you're in Calm for the Challenger League, there's a couple of drivers in Calm that you can go and support as well. If you fancy a go on the simulators, make sure you go to any of them lounges, or even the Zurich Airport Lounge, which is again right below us, right by the start line here, the Zurich Airport Racing Lounge, which no races in today, but free open, should I say, for the public to come in and experience to go on the simulators, and you'll be able to watch the live broadcast as we go. Let's, though, look at the warm-up winner from the last race. There is Angelo Mikel. Well, he's got some great tips from all these rivals around him because he is flying at the moment. Here is Angelo Mikel. He comes out of Ravazza now. He's going to come to the line. Nico Farland's already celebrating with him as he wins the race here at Imola. Race 4 goes the way of Angelo Mikel. Where's the confetti for the young man? There's the confetti all over Angelo Mikel's hair, all over the... I feel sorry for the guy who's had to clean that up all weekend, but this is racing. Now here comes Angelo Mikel, okay. Race winner. There's the confetti all over
him. This is Racing Unleashed Beyond the Pinnacle.
And it was a fantastic atmosphere at the Munich Lounge last time out, and we saw it again last night. The confetti on display again for Nico Farland and Angelo Mikel. He was very surprised, very shocked. You could see the emotion on his face when he won that race, that how much that meant to him, though. This is the current... this was the race result from that race. It was Angelo Mikel who won it from Michael Schmiedel and Alvaro Aznar, P3. Ciro Zambra was 4th with Javier Loro. Florian Horser, Wojciech Polezny, Alejandro Sanchez, only 8th. He had to make a comeback in this race. Sinan Demirbaş and Enrique Marinon. Sebastian Hirsch outside the top 10 with Mark Gasner. 12th, David Seed. 13th, Christoph Holstein. 14th, Ivan Kaufman. in 15th place. And the standings for the Racer League are as follows. And it's Alejandro Sanchez, who is absolutely flying at the moment. 59 points. He is in P1 with Michael Schmiedel hunting him down in P2. Angelo Mikel moves himself up into P3, not far off the back of Schmiedel at all. Holstein drops to 4th with David Seed down in 5th. Ciro Zambra stays in 6th place. Enrique Maradon and Wojciech Plezny down to 7th and 8th as Florian Horsa and Alvaro Aznar move inside the top 10. So points on offer for Angelo Mikel, and he's managed to gain some over the championship leader Alejandro Sanchez, and Schmiedel as well on the podium for the first time this season. It was great to see him as the bottom half of the standings look like this. Sebastian Hirsch and Mark Gasner down to 11th and 12th, tied on 18 points. Loris Mistretta, 2 behind them in 13th place. Javier Loro climbs up to 14th with Sinan Demirbas dropping down to P15. Dominic Dedic, Ivan Kaufman, Kevin Aby, David Ladamada and Devin Eastro yet to score this season, and we are missing a few of the drivers this afternoon. They're all off on their holidays, I do believe. Ciro Zambra's in Cyprus, lucky for some, obviously enjoying the sunshine. I got a lovely message from him last night, said he enjoyed the show. So hopefully, Ciro, if you're watching again, we miss you. Hopefully you're back from Monza and we see you very shortly. But it's points for these drivers that they're going to play for today. Obviously, no points will be on offer for Agustin Torlacci or Marcus Valverde. Their result will be drop them to the next 2 drivers below them for the points. And it's a chance for them to prove what they can do in this Racer League environment. Obviously, the Challenger League drivers are trying to get a spot in the Racer League for the 2024 season. So it's going to be fantastic to see what they can do. 2 drivers on a knockout ban. They are Kevin Aby and David Ladamada. So a few drivers currently on a knockout ban. Here is the starting grid for the knockout qualifying then. And it is going to be a Kemptol pole position, as in front of me, I have it's Devin Eastro, and behind me, this should confirm the same thing. Devin Eastro, your man on pole position with Sinan Demirbas in a fantastic opportunity at the moment from P2 on the grid. Loris Mistretta will go from 3rd with Mark Gasner P4. Sebastian Hirsch in 5th, another guy who's got a great opportunity to get a podium today. Florian Horsa P6 with Wojciech Plezny 7th. Enrique Maradon 8th, David Seed 9th and Christoph Holstein rounds out the top 10 of what is 14 drivers taking part in this knockout session. Angelo Mikel, P11, Michael Schmiedel, P12, Alejandro Sanchez in P13, and then we've got Jan Teufen, P14, with Kevin Aby, 15th place, David Ladamada, 16th. They are on knockout bans, and Agustin Torlacci and Marcus Valverde will not be able to qualify in this one today. So that then is your starting grid for the knockout qualifying session. And I'm sure the drivers who you saw there with Roy was just finishing their gear up session or in their simulator still. They can't come out their cockpits until the end of the knockout session. So the drivers have got to stay in them. And the prize money that the drivers today are participating for is this one right here, the Racer League. 3,500 Swiss francs for a race win. It is a lot of money you could take home in your back pocket today. 2,500 for second, 1,500 for third place. 1,000 for a top 4, 750 for a top 5. And a top 10 will get you 200 Swiss francs as well. For the season that Alejandro Sanchez currently leads at the moment, it is 15,000 Swiss francs. A lot of money for this championship. 9,000 for second place, 6,000 for third, 4, 3, 2, 1.5 for P7, 1,250 for P8, 1,000 for ninth, and 750 Swiss francs for that 10th place in the championship. So it's not only the points that are on offer in this championship, it is a bit of prize money as well, and it is a lot on offer for these drivers in the Racer League, and it's going to be fantastic to see what they can do and who will take the prize money. The knockout qualifying, if you're new to Racing Unleashed and want to know what the knockout qualifying is, you may not understand it quite yet. Well, it's simple. Lap 1 is a safety car lap. It is a warm-up lap. It is no overtaking. The Mercedes safety car will lead the way and will do one full lap of this 7.6 kilometre circuit and will then pull into the pit lane at the end of that first lap. Before lap 2, we only have one guarded lap. Most tracks where it's a little smaller, it's normally 2 guarded laps. Today we have 1 guarded lap. That is then where drivers can overtake. They are free to race, make up as many positions as possible, because at the end of lap 3, you do not want to be in that bottom position, because then you will start to be eliminated, and we lose 1 to 2 drivers every lap from the end of lap 3 until we have our pole sitter. Now, it will be obviously a shorter knockout qualifying session than normal because of the fact drivers are missing or are on knockout qualifying bans. So it will be a shorter knockout format today in the terms of there won't be as many knockout laps. But it's a chance here with only one warm-up lap and one guarded lap. It's a chance maybe for a few of the guys at the front of that knockout qualifying grid to get a good result in this session. Even though the track, 7.6 kilometres long, very long circuit, we're not going to see Sanchez be patient, or Smeedle be patient behind other drivers as we've seen in the past, knowing he's got 2 guarded laps and then a third lap to start to make up places. He's lost one of them guarded laps. So instead of 3 laps to try and make as many places as he can, he's got 2 today. So a little more pressure on him, and especially in a last sector where overtaking seems very, very difficult around here. As there we see from our camera crew in our Kempthal lounge, the drivers also in their simulators and in their cockpits and getting in the gear up session, getting some last minute preparation is. And as Roy said, it's a much more a professional atmosphere around today. The drivers in this Racer League a lot more focused and a lot more zoned in than you may see over yesterday. There's Christoph Holstein, one of our race winners in the Racer League this season. And we said yesterday that we'd had 4 different winners in 4 races in the Championship in Challenge League. We've got the same in Racer League. David C took the first race win at Silverstone. Christoph Holstein took then the win at the Red Bull Ring, before Alejandro Sanchez won at Mugello and Angelo Michel won last time out in Imola. So Christoph, race winner to his name. What can he do as we see the shots of the Zurich circuit? And he's really focused in on this gear up session. And you can just see from his cockpit view here, not quite obviously in the cockpit, just to the side, but you can just see how much focus you've got to have in this simulator, how much concentration you have got to have as the gear up session comes to an end. And it's going to be an interesting one to see what the driver's pace is as they now have to stay in their cockpits and have to get themselves ready for the session coming up in front of us. Will be a 15-lap race when we get to it a little later on. And as we said, it is happening right below our feet. It is just outside this window here, right below us. We can see the action going on. We're going to, though, take a look at a bit of a track preview with Mr. JWW talking you through it.
So hello, welcome back to Zurich, Switzerland, and today is really special because we're racing a track that doesn't exist anywhere else. This is the Racing Unleashed Zurich Airport race circuit, and for me, one of those SPs that racing is all about. Racing Unleashed have created this circuit from scratch. They've mapped the real airport in real time and created a circuit layout that they will get the most optimal and exciting experience for our racers. You've got to stay tuned. This is truly exclusive content. It's going to test these guys to the nth degree of their skill. It's a complete blend between really high downforce flowing corners, strong brake zones, and top speed straights. Don't go away. This one's special.
This one is going to be special indeed. And James joined us last time for the Racer League race that happened in Imola. And it was great to have James alongside us in the commentary box for the race. And yeah, the track explanation, like you said, it's going to be special. It is going to be special. Zurich Airport closed for the morning because we are taking over the runway and we are getting ready to go knockout qualifying and racing a little later on. It's a fantastic spectacle here. If you haven't seen the Zurich Airport circuit, stay tuned, keep involved because it is great to watch. It's great fun and you don't get this anywhere else. It's not something that you can have on any simulator anywhere else in the world. Only here at Racing Unleashed is where the Zurich Airport is available, and it's fantastic for us to have this at our disposal. It spices it up. It's the Monaco of the Racing Unleashed calendar, if you will. It's the special event that we all look forward to here in Switzerland and in our studio. And in Madrid, it's all calm, it's all nice and relaxed and chilled and focused before the chaos will eventually commence, and it will be go. A very chilled out environment there. And you're just seeing some of the drivers, arms back, nice and relaxed. They're chilling out, enjoying themselves, as in Munich. Again, just a very, very quiet vibe across these lounges. And this is the difference. We see yesterday, we see a bit of a party atmosphere in Munich. We saw a bit of a good atmosphere in, Kempthal. And today, it is just quiet. Everybody silent, focused, determined on what they have to do. It won't be quiet for long because it will soon be knockout qualifying and it will soon be absolute chaos. There is Kempthal. And Devin Eastgrow there, who will be starting the knockout qualifying session from that pole position spot. So he's got a chance here to pull away early in this knockout session and a chance for him to get forward and keep that lead going into the race. It's going to be very hard for him, though, because he's got a very quick Sinan de Merbas behind him, who we've seen been involved in a bit of unlucky incidents throughout the season, and luck hasn't gone his way. So is today their chance where he can get some of that luck back? It's going to be fantastic to watch. You're not going to want to miss any of the action. Plenty of drivers representing plenty of countries here. Here is the penalty point roster that we spoke about today. So drivers going to need to be careful that are close to some bans. Now, David Ladamada, Kevin Abey, they are today currently on the knockout qualifying ban. Wojciech Plesny, the orange cross next to his name on the knockout ban, that means he has served one already. And yes, is on 17 points. So if he gets 3 penalty points today, he will miss Monza. So Wojciech needs to have a clean knockout and a clean race to lose some points. Mark Gasner, 10 points. That could be interesting. If he is involved in a first lap incident, penalty points are doubled. Obviously, penalties are doubled for first lap incidents. So Mark Gasner possibly on that cusp of getting a knockout qualifying ban for the race a little later on. Angelo Mikel, Dominic Dedic on 5, Alejandro Sanchez on 2, Smeedle on 2 as well. Ciro Zambra, he has done his knockout ban on 2, Florian Horser on 2 as well. So Wojciech Plesny and Ciro Zambra have served their bans, hence the orange X is still there. That just tells us that they have served their bans. David Ladamada and Kevin Abey will serve theirs today. Wojciech Plesny, 17 penalty points. He has got to be as clean as a whistle if he wants to make sure that he does not get any to his name today, because that will mean a missed race for Monza. And for the Czech driver, he's going to want to make sure he does not get involved in any incidents, because he will not want to miss Monza. A very quick driver, Wojciech Plesny, and I'm sure he'll have some good pace out there. Here explains the penalty point system then. In knockout, if you get a 2-place grid penalty, a 4-place grid penalty, or a 6-place grid penalty, that equals to 5, 10, or 15 penalty points. First lap instance, double the penalty. If you win in the race, a 5, 10, 15 second time penalty gives you 5, 10, 15 penalty points. So again, doubled on lap 1, you do not want to get them. A knockout ban is 20 penalty points. A weekend ban is 40. Now, the way it works, why Wojciech has already had a qualifying knockout ban, and it is on 17, is when you get to that 20 points there for the knockout ban, your points get reset to 0. Nothing. Absolutely diddly squat. You then get another 20 points. It's a weekend ban. It's 40 in total. It just refreshes on the list to 0 to just make sure everything is clear. But there is a reward for the drivers, and this is what Wojciech Plesny will want today. A clean knockout, no penalties to your name, -2 penalty points. Very, very important. For the race, no penalties in that, you get a -3 penalty points. So Wojciech Plesny is currently on 17. A clean knockout, a clean race. He's all of a sudden on 12 penalty points. So a real opportunity for drivers today to remove penalty points from their name. Smeedle's only got 2, so a clean knockout for Smeedle will wipe all penalty points off of his licence there then. So there is a reward chance for these drivers to have clean races and clean knockouts. They will be rewarded with penalty points deducted off their current roster that they have then, and current allocation they have against their names. And it is very important because Racer League, unlike the Challenge League, you don't have to qualify for. These 20 drivers are set in stone, so they are here for the whole season in terms of scoring points and prize money. Missing 1 week could be detrimental to your championship hopes here, and taking home not only good championship points but good prize money as well at the end of the season. It looks like the drivers are now currently sat on the grid. There is Devin Eastgrow, a thumbs up from him as he's ready to go from that pole position. Kevin Abey and David Ladamada in Kemptall will be out their simulators now. They can rest up and relax. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. There is Christoph Holstein, and it's going to be fantastic to see what he can do in this race, as our very own Roy gets to drive the Mercedes AMG safety car today. He's not taking part in the races. He will be in the safety car for today's race. It's going to be fantastic to see what will happen in this one then. So Roy gets to drive that beautiful Mercedes AMG GT3. And there is Spain, Madrid in general, with our Racing Unleashed colleagues and drivers stood around. You see there, just at the back by the 2 red simulators, there was Marcus Valverde, stood waiting, ready for him to get back in the cockpit for the start of the race. He will not be taking part in knockout. Neither will Augustin Torlacci, who are in as a filler driver, if you will. They're a real experience chance for these two Challenge League drivers to get something today. We, though, are about to go green here for the knockout qualifying session. The lights are off. Roy will take them away in the safety car. And it is now one warm-up lap behind the safety car that we will get to see what these drivers can do. It's about tyre preparation, brake preparation, make sure everything is prepared and is ready to go for this session then. So as you see, the drivers coming up on the list: Devin Eastro, Sinan Demirbaş, Loris Mastretta, Mark Gazner, Sebastian Hirsch, good chat for him today, Florian Horser, Wojciech Polezny, Enrique Marinon, David Seed, Christoph Holstein, Angelo Mikel, Michael Schmiedel, Alejandro Sanchez and Jan Tufen coming from the back. There is Jan getting them tyres prepared. You just heard him there, on and off the throttle, warming them up, making sure the tyres are in the correct window, make sure the brakes are in the correct window, because it's a good braking zone into turn one. It's behind Schmiedel and Sanchez, the rivals of last year and the rivals again of this year. So this time around, it's Sanchez who has the upper hand over Schmiedel this season. So David Ladamada will not be taking part in the race, I'm being told in my ear. He has arrived too late at the racing lounge and will therefore not be taking part in the race. That'll be due to not enough time to get him in the simulators and get him ready for the session today. Obviously, with having to sort out the drivers that are already in the session. So David Ladamada will not take part in today's race. Now, what that might mean is, does that carry his knockout qualifying ban over to the next race? That'll be for race control to decide, and that will be for race control to let him know as well that he will have to carry that knockout ban. And you're seeing a few Kimi Räikkönens out there just keeping the car in a nice straight line while everybody else wants to warm up their tyres as we come through the middle sector of the lap on this 7.6 kilometre circuit. A few Swiss airline aeroplanes there, beautifully done. Airbus aircraft, I do believe they are as well. So beautiful, beautiful pieces of machinery, but none more finer than our RU23 car out there on the circuit, getting ready for this knockout session. Jan Tufen now starts to back the pack up. Couple of corners early that for Jan. Sorry, for Devin Eastro. Jan Tufen's at the back. Apologies. So the Mercedes-AMG GT3 already being allowed to escape here. And Devin Eastro backing the pack up now. He take charge of this race. And it will be down to him to make sure that he leads the pack away. Roy brings the safety car into pit lane. And it is Devin Eastro that will take control of this race start. He's gone now. You see him drop the throttle. He's got a good launch over the two behind him. They've also got a good launch over Loris Mastretta, Mark Gazner, sorry, in P4. And a good start that from Devin Eastro. He didn't wait till the last minute. He went early. Good heavy braking zone into turn one past the BP petrol station we go. And it's Devin Eastro, Sinan Demirbaş, Loris Mastretta, Mark Gazner, top four that we are watching at the moment under the exit of the airport car park. As you hit a massive bump through there, luckily not into a braking zone, into these first couple of corners, into RU1 and RU2. And Schmiedel's already got past Angelo Mikel, so early moves for Schmiedel here. Then Sanchez is on the back of Mikel now. And a real bumpy circuit here at the airfield. There is Alejandro Sanchez. Oh, big bounce off the curb for Angelo Mikel there. Sanchez catches the back of the car. None of them lose out massively, but Jan Tufen there has capitalised on both of their mistakes as Mikel. Oh, horrible snap. He's tapped then Jan Tufen round, and previous race winner Mikel is off early in this race. And well, that could put to bed any chance of getting through this knockout qualifying next phase, as Sanchez as well. Gazner, I think, was off as Schmiedel has got past Mark Gazner. Loris Mastretta has got past Devin Eastro. So Eastro's now third. It's Sinan Demirbaş who leads this knockout session. Enrique Marinon is next on this list of Wojciech Polezny. There's 3 cars in front having a great scrap. Marinon to the inside though, flat scat through the left-hander, heavy braking zone, it's like pinball up front, 3 cars bouncing off of each other. How contact hasn't been made more? Marinon just touches the gravel, Polezny tries to come back around the outside, can he hang it there? He'll have the inside for the left-hander, he can indeed. The car just understeers a little wide, now it's advantage back to Marinon, and this is where it really tightens up. Polezny now has the inside line, and it's left, right, who's got the advantage? And Marinon and Polezny still side by side out the final complex. Wojciech Polezny towards the circle part of the circuit, the start line if you will, and Marinon now gets his car in front. Polezny will have to wait to do that again. Up front though, that is I believe Florian Horser and Sebastian Hirsch. It's Hirsch and Iskro having a battle. It's Horser just in front of Marinon now as De Merbas starts to pull away out front. Here is Sebastian Hirsch, P4 at the moment, looks up the inside, lovely move from Sebastian there, but it's not completed. Devin Iskro fought him hard around the outside into RU1 and RU2 they go. Iskro hangs on to this, and now Horser having a look on his Munich fellow driver of Hirsch. Hirsch there just so composed when he made that move. Through the S's they come, and Hirsch here really on the back of Devin Iskro. He's got to attack while defending. Devin Iskro kind of the blockage in the road at the moment. He's got a gaggle of cars behind him, all queuing up for a few positions here. We're on now the elimination lap, and it will be the bottom 2 drivers of Angelo Mikel and Jan Tufen that are currently in that danger zone of being eliminated, and a fair way behind at the moment, but a long circuit, anything can happen. Here's Wojciech Polezny then looking forward to Enrique Marinon, who just overtook him on the last lap at this sector of circuit. They were side to side for a good amount of time. Look at the speed advantage of the slipstream. No push to pass in knockout, let's not forget. So it is all pure pace as Hirsch and Iskro go battling up front. Late on the brakes, Wojciech Polezny nearly put himself in the gravel, hold to it well. He's got to now start to brake a little earlier because of the Horser is here. Now Marinon gets blocked by Horser, and Polezny in the gravel. That's allowed David Seed to capitalise and take another place. Now Polezny's got Smeedel up the inside, just taps Seed a little bit there, and it is just all in this final sector, a little congested, and now Smeedel and Polezny go side by side. The 2 Czech drivers battling it out down the circle to cross the line and start lap 4, and we are though going to lose Angelo Mikel, P14, and I believe we may have lost Mark Gassner as Smeedel and Polezny make contact there, and Smeedel bounced off the tyre wall, and luckily they have not gone around as Smeedel now goes up the inside of Polezny. That is job done. Easy as like Mikel Smeedel, but he's now got to get on the back of the train once again. There was Nico Farland in the background cheering on Angelo Mikel as well, and Mark Gassner eliminated in P13. So what went wrong there? Because it was Jan Tufen who was on the cusp of elimination. He's managed to survive, and he's only 6/10 off the back of Christoph Holstein, who's not made the progress he'd have liked here. Look at these cars though. Sebastian Hirsch with Florian Horser and Enrique Marinon just behind, having a fantastic squabble. David Seed involved in this as well, as Marinon looked up the inside of Horser there, couldn't get the job done. Here he is, David Seed himself, looking to try and make up a few more positions. And at the moment, no go for David Seed. Look who's now on the back of him once again. It's Smeedel. And look who Smeedel's brought to the party. It's Alejandro Sanchez. Currently, Jan Tufen and Christoph Holstein are the men at risk of elimination. Polezny's dropped right off this pack, and Holstein within a second of him. So Holstein's got the chance to get through. Hirsch has got past Devin Iskro now. That is for P3 a little further forward. There is Sanchez. Just seeing this queue of cars as David Seed had a little wiggle through the corner. Into the gravel he goes, and through goes Michael Smeedel and Alejandro Sanchez. And David Seed there has got this work to do all over again at the moment. Look at the congestion. It's like being on the motorway with a traffic jam. In the final sector, cars bouncing off of the wall there. I believe that was Sebastian Hirsch just clipping the wall a little bit. One of them looks like he's riding the wall on the outside. Jan Tufen, though, will be P12 in this knockout session. And we also lose Christoph Holstein, who will be in 11th place. Sinan De Merbas, though, out front, 1 second clear of Loris Mistretta. And Devin Iskro is 7 seconds behind this pack. As comes Sanchez on the back of Sebastian Hirsch. Schmiedel's already got through. Sanchez the outside. He'll have the inside for RU1 and 2. And Sanchez following Schmiedel through. Schmiedel up front though. He clears Florian Haase then. So that's Schmiedel up another place into P5. Marinon all over the back of Iskro at the moment. And what has happened to Sebastian Hirsch actually, he was P3, he's now down in P8. So in a spot of bother. Polesny's got past David Seed, who are not in this fight at the moment. This is Marinon up the inside of Devin Iskro. Gets the job done. Lovely move from Marinon that. Now Schmiedel is a piece of Devin Iskro, and he's going to absolutely take every opportunity he can get. Devin Iskro forced a little wide there, and that could cost him some momentum. As Schmiedel now up into P4. Sanchez gets through to P5, and Devin Iskro hanging on for P6 as Florian Haase now gets through into P6. Now then, it's Sebastian Hirsch who needs to get through. Polesny and David Seed right there, and any of these drivers could be eliminated from this session at the end of this lap. Look at the run that Devin Iskro gets. He's going to have the inside line for the left-hander. Sebastian Hirsch wants to make it through wide into the left-hander. Iskro through, Hirsch up the inside, and Haase 2 places in 2 corners. He's down. What an absolute fantastic drive. In fact, Wojciech Polesny's got past Haase as well there. So great move from the drivers at the fastest part of the circuit. Brave, brave stuff from these Racer League boys today. And Florian Haase, I said it could all change. Well, just like that, it's Wojciech Polesny who's going to get an extra lap, and it's going to be Florian Haase who is going to miss out here. David Seed will be at P10, and Florian Haase down in P9 for him then. So them two eliminated from this knockout session. As I believe... Oh no, it's Polesny who's out. So we didn't see this, but what happened to Polesny? Haase pips him on the line, and Polesny then, he will be the man out of knockout in P9. So Haase through. Hirsch and Iskro still battling. Sanchez and Schmiedel have started to pull away from them. And they're on the back of Enrique Marinon once again. Haase gets past Sebastian Hirsch. Big wiggle. Big wiggle. Florian Haase well held, kept together nicely. But that's going to give Sebastian Hirsch the run. Looks to the outside. He'll have the inside for the next part of the corner. Bit of a bump between Haase and Hirsch. And Hirsch backs out of that. Haase wide. Hirsch will have that back, thank you very much. He says, right, Hirsch and Haase, the 2 drivers that looking to be eliminated this lap. But as we saw last time round, anything can happen. And Devin Iskro is only a second up the road. Battle, not only in the championship, but in this knockout qualifying session. Sanchez and Schmiedel 4th and 5th. 4th for Schmiedel, 5th for Sanchez. On the back of Enrique Marinon, who is starting to close on Loris Mistretta. But 5.6 seconds is a hefty gap to have. And you feel that Mistretta should have this one covered. De Murbas 1.6 out front absolutely did exactly what he needed to do in this knockout qualifying session. And Hirsch has got past Devin Iskro then. So Florian Haase will be eliminated for sure this time as well. Because even if he gets past Iskro, he's got to get past Hirsch. And he's 3 points off the back of Devin Iskro then. So that will be the end of Haase's session. I think he kind of knows it as well. And we also lose Devin Iskro. The pole man in knockout will be starting P7. As Enrique Marinon. Well then, Schmiedel and Sanchez. Come on, come and catch me as he puts the fastest lap of the session in. There is Devin Iskro, pulls off to the side, and that is his session done. Now our attention turns to Hirsch and Sanchez. Hirsch 4.4 seconds behind at the moment. Sanchez needs 1 place to go into the next lap. Marinon 5.2 to Loris Mistretta. It's a big, big gap, and he's only going to have at least 2 opportunities to get this done. He's gone a little wide there on exit. That's going to invite Schmiedel to have a little look and get a little interested. And Schmiedel just starting to point his car out and say, I'm here. 1 mistake and you're mine. Schmiedel is a guy who does not need 2nd or 3rd invitations. There he is. Right on the back of Enrique Marinon. Schmiedel will have 1 more lap to go as well in this knockout session, provided he doesn't lose out to Sanchez or Hirsch in this one. Sanchez just a little too far back at the moment. But there is still about 1/4 of the lap left to go as they're coming into the fastest part of the circuit. Flat right, flat left. before the heavy braking zones, the slow section. Smeedle right on the back of Marinon. Up front, he pulls to the right-hand side. He looks up the inside. Well timed from Michael Smeedle there. Bit of a touch of wheels, but Smeedle is through on Enrique Marinon. And 4.6 seconds to Loris Mistretta. Smeedle through. Now then, Marinon. Sanchez is behind you. Do not make a mistake in this last sector, because Sanchez needs his place to go through to the next part of qualifying, and I believe he's not going to get it. Alejandro Sanchez too far back. He is going to be lining up P5 provisionally on the grid. We also are going to lose Sebastian Hirsch in P6. So Sanchez now can let his fellow Madrid driver hunt after Michael Smeedle once again. And Smeedle has a big gap to catch down. Real big gap. Good job for Sanchez there, 13th to 5th. I'm sure he'll be happy with that one. Sebastian Hirsch looks relatively happy with his work as well. Smeedle now, 4.1 to Mistretta. I know it's a 7.6 kilometre lap, but you're going to need Mistretta to make a mistake here, because you're just not going to gain 4 seconds in this one lap, you feel. Marinon putting pressure on Smeedle though. And here is our Turkish driver of Sinan Demirbas. Absolutely in control of this knockout qualifying session. He's been as cool as you like here. As we look back from Michael Smeedle's car, there is Enrique Marinon. They get so close to that gravel trap. So close to every gravel trap, saying that just on the entry there. So easy to do. Oh, you see there, did Marinon just dip a wheel into that gravel? That's lost him a bit of momentum. Well, him and Smeedle are going to be eliminated this lap either way, because they are 3.7 behind Loris Mistretta. It's the case of which order they are going to be in at the end of this lap. They come into the tight, twisty section now, and you have to say you feel that Smeedle has this done for P3. Half a second, a big gap to close, when the defending champ has to just park it on the apex and get it through the corner. Bit of a wiggle though for Smeedle on the exit. Oh, Marinon nearly into the tyre wall. So Smeedle there had a little wiggle, but it is going to be Marinon is P4, Smeedle is P3. I think Marinon's a bit hot in the cockpit there, trying to fan himself, to cool himself down. Warm day in Europe. It is a warm day across Europe. And Smeedle there, sporting the Marcus Valverde headband. Not as colourful as Marcus Valverde's, that has to be said, but a nice headband nonetheless. Loris Mistretta and Sinan Demirbas. That's one of the quieter last laps we're going to see here in this knockout qualifying session. Loris Mistretta 3.4 seconds behind Sinan Demirbas. Now Sinan and Mistretta both gained 1 place in this session, and you have to say for Sinan Demirbas, fantastic session for him, and for Loris Mistretta in that case. They both done exactly what they needed to do. They managed to get themselves in an opportunity that let them pull away, that let them dictate their pace, and that let them control what they needed to control. So Sinan Demirbas into the final parts of the circuit now. He's coming through the middle sets. There is Loris Mistretta, the Italian driver. David Istro in the background, as is Christoph Holstein. And their camera crew picking up Loris Mistretta once again. And great job from Loris Mistretta today. Didn't have the pace of Sinan Demirbas, but has controlled his pace very, very well to stay ahead of the others. We saw that Smeedle and Marinon was catching at the end, but because Mistretta had done all the hard work early doors, he was well in front and managed to have a good gap at the end of this one. Into the final couple of corners we come now, and it is going to be Sinan Demirbas who is going to be your pole sitter. Loris Mistretta will be P2, but provisionally at the moment, Sinan Demirbas in Munich. It is back-to-back poles for Munich in terms of Zurich Airport circuit. Sinan Demirbas, P1 here, and a very good knockout qualifying session indeed for Sinan. And that backs up Nico Forland's pole position from yesterday. And is the run of form currently in the Munich Racing Lounge then, because 2 wins on the bounce and now 2 pole positions on the bounce as well. Sinan Demirbas provisional P1 for him, and Sebastian Hirsch and co just go over to congratulate him We'll obviously hopefully get to speak with Sinan a little later on, but a fantastic knockout session for him. There is Kemptol. Christoph Holstein there, having a little discussion. Obviously a bit of a debrief with Mathew Duffin. There is Madrid. Great scenes in Madrid. Must be a warm day there. They've got the fans out. For Enrique Marinon, it was very hot in that cockpit, and we saw the sweat yesterday. If you watched yesterday, Joshua Hader's facial expression, you could see how hot he was. You could see the sweat dripping off his face. It is very hot inside these simulators, and it is very hot indeed, especially with the adrenaline pumping and the work they have to do. Sinan Demirbas, though, still in his cockpit at the moment, and his P1 provisionally on the grid will bring you the final classification as soon as race control check everything and make sure it is the correct result, and we'll get to speak with our pole sitter a little later on, but well controlled from Sinan Demirbas, and he will want to replicate that in the race. There is race control, and you already see 3 monitors there looking at every little incident, and fairly clean from what we saw in the knockout session there, but a gaggle of cars just really congested, and I would not want to be them 3 men. We say this every week, but they do have the hardest job here at Racing Unleashed, making sure that every decision is the correct one then. So that was the knockout qualifying session for Racer League. Here, Challenge 5 at Zurich Airport Circuit happening right below us out of our window there. You can see the planes grounded, not allowed to take off because we have taken over the circuit for today's race. Monza comes up at the beginning of September, so straight after this one, the drivers get a month's rest to prepare for Monza, which should be an absolutely fantastic one. And again, qualification for that opens for the Challenge League on the 21st of August and closes on the 30th of August. So if you want to get involved in the Challenge League, make sure you get to one of our 5 racing lounges and try and qualify as best you can. If you're in that top 20, you can have a chance of being in our session. There is Sinan Demirbas. We can confirm now that Sinan will be on pole position. It is confirmed is P1. We get to speak with Sinan hopefully a little in a few moments' time, but Sinan Demirbas confirmed pole position. So a great job for him. Race Control have clearly got that decision done very quickly and have decided he has just absolutely done nothing wrong and drove really well. And for Sinan Demirbas, P1 is confirmed for him today in this knockout session. So we will speak with Sinan momentarily. So we get a good thumbs up from Sinan. Hopefully we get to speak with him in just a couple of moments' time. P1 for Sinan Demirbas, so he is very happy with that. Right, we've just been told that we cannot hear Sinan at the moment. They're trying to sort out his headset that we can then hear him, but Sinan can hear us. So Sinan, thumbs up, congratulations, well done. And hopefully we get the microphone to work so we can hear him. But Sinan, that is P1 confirmed. Well done on the pole position, congratulations. Thumbs up for the pole position. Talking with his colleague there, obviously trying to get the microphone to work.
Test.
There we go. We have you now.
No,
we
okay.
have you now. Yes. Sinan,
Yeah.
very well done. Confirmed pole position. You are P1.
Thank you. I mean, it was quite an easy start. I got the move done on the first lap, and then it was just about managing the gap because I knew there was carnage behind. Yeah, I don't feel great today. I don't feel great all week. I think the podium will be hard to get, but I will just try to survive.
Try to survive, but like you say, you managed the pace very well. We saw Nico Forlan did the same thing yesterday, and you did the same today. It was just make no mistakes, control that gap.
Exactly. I mean, I have good pace. I can be consistent. I mean, I also thought, like previously, okay, this is the simulator in which Andrew and Nico won the previous races. So, yeah, it's a good omen, this purple one.
Yeah, the purple one, 2 race wins on the bounce, and Nico was in it for pole position yesterday. You've got pole position today. Touch wood, it could be a race win.
Yeah, let's see. I will try my best. I mean, I have nothing to lose, I guess.
Sinan, congratulations. We hope to speak to you later on.
Thank you.
Very happy man there is Sinan Demirbas, P1. And like he said there, the lucky purple simulator of Munich. Wow. You'd want to be in that one for the Challenger League or the Racer League next time, won't you? Because Sinan Demirbas, fantastic qualifying. Great qualifying session from Sinan, and it was brilliant to see him get through. And let's go into our rush hour programme. And welcome to Rush Hour, where we get to speak with Fabio once again. Fabio, welcome back.
Hi.
Great qualifying.
Great qualifying, yeah. Started with a little action in the back there with Angelo, Duffin, and I believe it was Sanchez. But other than that, great racing. Yeah.
Great racing, and we saw a lot of cars quite close together. It was a bit tight at one stage in that last sector, wasn't it? Cars looking to make moves, and all cleanly as well. It was very good to see.
Yeah, they all bunched up behind Devin Iskru, actually. So he was a bit of a blockage there. So that's why the pack was always together. And once you got ahead of him, you could just drive off. But yeah, I didn't really see that many incidents. I also talked to race control. There are not many scenes that they're actually reviewing. So good sign for the race.
Great sign for the race. We'll hopefully get to take a look at a view of the replays in just a short while, as well as going over live to Kemptol to speak with our Racing Unleashed representative Roy there, where we get to speak about the Racing Lounge and the experience of Racing Unleashed and what you as the general public can come, experience, try or watch and get to view as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe sometimes the people don't really know whether this is public or not. So it's a great insight on how people can actually join the challenges and just, once they have time off, they can actually go there and have fun.
And this is the area in Kemptol where you can find the Motor World building in which our Racing Unleashed lounge is stationed. And fantastic scenery all around. There is the Motor World. Some lovely cars inside the building. And there at the very bottom is our delightful racing lounge. Look at them. Ferraris, Mercedes. Beautiful.
Yeah, you got it all there, really. So a fantastic site. Also in the Motor World in Munich, you get so many cars there. It's just a beautiful building to be in if you're a car fanatic. And yeah, if you guys have time, just say hello, step into the simulator and race.
Yeah, just go and race. And as you saw at the bottom of the building there, not only do you get to walk past so many lovely cars, you get to see this lovely face of Roy, who will greet you and delight you, offer you a beverage, and get the chance to maybe, Roy, put someone in a simulator and see what they can do.
Yeah, we're always glad to have new drivers here, and every now and then we find someone very young usually who sticks out immediately.
Now, the Racing Lounge is obviously not just here for these championships of Challenger League and Racer League, but are also here for the general public to have a try at themselves and see what they can do. The simulators themselves are so high-tech that the general public obviously aren't used to things like this. If you had to give some advice to the general public coming in to experience these simulators, what would you say first time?
Don't underestimate it. It's more taxing than you would think. It gets rather hot in our simulators, and if you're not used to that or the concentration levels you usually need, it can get quite sweaty.
It can indeed, and obviously a lot going on. You have the small little fan to try and cool you down, but it's the seat belts that sort of pull you in under the braking. It's the immersion that you get from the simulator. The whole experience is fantastic, though. It's a family sort of place where you can bring everybody down to watch the championship, watch the races, take part yourself.
Yeah, they can come here, try their best, and once we see that they can actually keep the pace, we usually tell them that they should try and qualify for our Challenger League. And usually we get quite some interests which try to do it, and over time they get the pace to be fast enough to get into the Challenger.
Beautiful. Roy, if you can, maybe show us around a little bit in the lounge, maybe also get another driver for an interview there. Maybe you find someone, and maybe tell us a little bit about the lounge, where to find what. Maybe the drivers are on the toilet, I don't know where they are, but yeah. Maybe there is an interview guest. Maybe you can go to John if you find him, because he's been away for a very long time. He's not here.
And he's away right now as well.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, we have our 5 simulators down here. Same again with upstairs, we have 5 more. We can split the people up into 10 groups, or groups of 10s, better said. And you can drive against each other and have a good time.
Have a good time, and it's the real sort of experience. Obviously, you can come, pay to have half an hour or a couple of hours, or there's also fun leagues, I believe, that is still on offer where you can bring 10 people and try and do a bit of a fun league challenge with your friends and see who can be the top dog out of all your mates.
Yeah, we currently are on break with the fun leagues, but we are planning to re-implement them and have a smaller series going on next to the challengers.
As well as next to the challenge, obviously, does it get quite busy that around the qualification period? Does it get quite busy in the lounge then with drivers coming in to qualify?
We do see a bit of a spike all of a sudden when the qualifying phase starts, because everybody wants to try their best when it comes to lap times. They take every chance they get, most of them at least. We see Yannick a lot in our lounges, for example. And yeah, but it's always nice to see them around.
Well, it's nice to see that we've got Christoph Holstein with us, who's going to have a quick chat. Christoph, how do you prepare for the race? How do you prepare? Oh, Roy, ask Christoph for us.
No, I think he can actually hear us in the background.
Correct. So, how do you usually prepare for the race?
I try just to be calm and just concentrate on myself, what I'm doing. I'm actually hearing myself. That's very, very weird. Yeah, try to have a plan going into the first corner, and then just go from there.
Christoph, would you say, I think you finished in P10, 11 or something. What do you think is possible from there?
It's very difficult because the pace is so close up front, and I'm struggling a little bit for pace as well. So it relies a lot on incidents, etc. And hope that's going to happen, I guess. I mean, yeah, but so I can get a little bit more forward. But we will see. I'll try my best, and then we'll see.
All right, good luck from us in the studio for sure. Roy, can you show us the lounge upstairs, maybe, that also people can have a look how it looks on the balcony? Yeah. Because then you have a lovely view.
Beautiful view, straight down.
Straight down the aisle there for where the other cars are.
These are why the drivers are in such shape, up and down the stairs to get in the simulators.
It's not a big stairs. Maybe.
They should be used to it.
I was here last year. There was drivers running up and down the stairs as a little warm-up preparation. Yeah,
you can do that.
Absolutely crazy. But again,
quite different floor up here.
Yeah, 5 more simulators upstairs again, Roy.
Correct. All of them are available as soon as you would show up here.
So on a traditional race weekend then for Challenger and Racer League, is the moment the racing's done, is it back open to the public to come and have a try?
Correct. As soon as the races are done, we are immediately open. So first come, first serve.
First come, first serve. So if there's any fans out there that are wanting to go down to the Kemptal Lounge or Munich, Madrid, the minute the Racer League race is done, get yourself in one of our simulators and see if you could take on the Zurich circuit and do what the drivers have done today. Roy, can we just see over the balcony as we pan round now? There we go, the beautiful Formula BMW car that Ciro got to drive a few weeks ago. A few fans in, away from the audience perhaps. There we go, lovely wave, thank you very much. And a beautiful sight down the Motor World building there.
I think the people have been partying yesterday a little bit, so maybe they're still sleeping. That's a bit disappointing usually that the Race League doesn't get as many people in the lounge as we would like, but we'll get there. So once we might switch some dates around in the future so that also the racers race at prime time.
Well, Roy, thank you very much for taking us around the racing lounge. It's been a pleasure.
Anytime. Thank you.
Great to just experience the racing lounges. And if you haven't been to one of our racing lounges across the 3 in Switzerland, 1 in Munich and 1 in Madrid, make sure you do come down and get involved because they are absolutely fantastic simulators and great to see a good atmosphere. You know, we saw last night and as well Challenger League back at Imola a month ago, that the party atmosphere that we've started to have. that we have. We've got some replays now to go through. This is the Sanchez one that you was on about with Duffin then.
Exactly.
As they come into the S's.
Sanchez is bumping into Michel here, right? Who jumps over the curb, actually. So Can is now on the very far right. You see him there?
Yeah.
And I believe Angelo was maybe just thinking he has enough space, touches Sanchez, and then Michel goes into Duffin, actually.
So is that Angelo coming across Sanchez that's then unsettled the car, maybe?
It's very close, but it's deemed as a racing incident, as I understood.
So this is Mikel bouncing off the curb. Nothing really Sanchez could do to avoid there. He's really right behind him. Jean gets a good run up the inside. And watch for Mikel coming across the front of Sanchez there. That just unsettles the car, doesn't it?
Yeah, there was just not enough space to go there. Maybe he should have backed off because he came out worse there.
Yeah.
And especially John, who had nothing to do with it. Racing incident.
Racing incident. And you have to feel sorry for Jean because all of a sudden he's made 2 places and he's the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. Bad luck for him, but still, I mean, I think he managed to be up there P something, 11?
P12 he got,
12.
although we was told that Holstein's P12.
Okay.
So maybe P11.
Yeah, but John has the pace. He's been in the simulator, I believe, just twice or 3 times after his long break now, and he's right up there in the standings. So, yeah, he will have some fun today.
Yeah, he'll have some fun today as well. Just, is that the lack of awareness from Mikel there, just to maybe a bit too impatient?
Possibly, but I don't want to be, rude or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that can happen.
Yeah, of course it can. Sebastian Hirsch coming through. This is lap 1 as well. And this is coming through the quick left into the right. Call, little wiggle in front of him. Oh, just has a bit of a moment, does the other car. Sebastian Hirsch does well to not get collected in that.
Yeah, very well done to avoid that. I'm actually very keen on knowing who it was in the front. Because that was a big wiggle.
I think it was a Munich car.
It was a Munich car, definitely.
There we go, Mark Gasner was the
Is
car.
this the reason why he fell back?
Must be.
Must be, right?
I don't think we saw this.
Maybe something happened after that.
So he's come through. Too much curb.
Yeah.
Puts him in the gravel. That unsettles the car. Huge moment.
Yeah, so he loses his...
He bounces off the wall and now he's backwards and he's got to wait for the rest of the pack to come through.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you here, we've seen it last night, we've seen it a bit today with the Mikel one, and now with this. Too much curb, too greedy on the curb. It's really going to unsettle the car. It really does bounce off the curbs here.
Yeah, I mean, but he was completely on the curb, right? The curbs are a little higher maybe than on other, yeah.
His front wheel looked like it touched the red and white sausage curb.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
So which would have bounced it even more. So even worse for Mark Gasner there, but how he didn't collect Sebastian Hirsch in that.
That was lucky.
Yeah, that must have been a heart-in-mouth moment for Sebastian.
Yep.
As incidents there, again, racing incident, nothing involved in that one. Race control probably wouldn't have even had a look at that because he's lost it on his own.
Yeah, he lost it on his own, and I mean, nothing happened to Sebastian, so all good in that regard. Just a pity for Gasner because it's also a track that he goes well on. Last year, obviously, he was in the lead, and then I think it was the last lap even where Sanchez crashed into him. So he lost that win and that podium. So let's see how he does in the race, and maybe he can recover from that.
Well, here is Sanchez, Smeedel, and Christoph Holstein then. And that is Smeedel on the outside. No, that's Polesny, I do believe. Holstein must be behind here.
No, the Polesny had the green simulator, actually.
Oh,
I didn't see that one.
did Holstein give
I don't know. I wasn't aware of that incident, really.
Right. Okay. So that was definitely Polesny, I believe, in front of Smeedel at the beginning. Nothing happens there. Does Holstein give Sanchez a little... You saw on Sanchez's view there, just that little sort of jump.
Yeah, but that was the rail tracks. It's the rail tracks that have a little bump in it. So maybe Sanchez loses it on his own because Holstein is too far away. Yeah. That's what happened. And yeah, Christoph, wrong place, wrong time. But he actually managed to turn him around. So very, very nice guy, Christoph.
Yeah, very well done on the assist to get Sanchez going right in the right direction. So 3 incidents, 3 videos, and all 3 just a driver error.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Maybe too much of a steering angle there, right over the bumps. Car got unsteady, and yeah, I mean, luckily for Sanchez that he got turned around once again, so he didn't really lose that much time.
It could have ended up a lot worse for Sanchez. He could have been starting further down the grid. But like you say, did he just keep too tight to the wall with side by side with Smeedle? And has he's hit that rail, like you say, too much steering lock and round the cog? We're in an airfield.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
We're in an airfield. It's going to be bumpy around this circuit.
Yeah, but it's really over the rail tracks. It's that bump that unsettles the car, and he just lost it, yeah.
Here's Smeedle and Pelesny then. We did see this one.
Yes.
The two Czech drivers. And this is where Smeedle ended up nearly in the tyre wall. Now, he's on the outside of Pelesny at turn 1. They come past the BP garage. Oh, big moment for Pelesny. Smeedle bounced off the wall, which catches Pelesny, and he puts him into the other wall. Yes. Again.
Smeedle got very lucky there, I have to say. You can also, because he got pushed to the right then, right?
Yeah.
Because of the wall, you can easily end up there just getting stuck, and then he has to reverse and then go back on the throttle.
Because the wall
again.
Sticks out a little bit.
Yeah, really.
It's not a flat surface. It sticks out at where it was. But it's the moment from Pelesny that puts Smeedle in that position, doesn't it? Because there, Pelesny starts to go now.
He loses it, but, I mean, he loses the car and catches it. So definitely not on purpose.
Oh, no.
I deem it as a racing incident as well. Both were lucky to get away with it. And funnily enough, it's the second incident within 2 days that two guys who are actually driving in the same car, because they're actually sharing the car from the Czech Republic to get to Munich, right? And yesterday we had the Heider brothers.
And we said we wouldn't want to be in the car yesterday. Yesterday's was a bit more of a incident than that one.
Yeah.
But good recovery for Smeedle, P3 out there. And like you say, if he'd have ended up further left, into the wall, it could have been a different story, like the Alejandro Sanchez one. He could have been stuck there, had to find reverse, wait for the rest of the pack to go, and all of a sudden well off the pace. Yeah, definitely.
So lucky for Smeedle, but good recovery in the end, right? So he had some touches there with Sanchez and obviously with Wojtek, but in the end, very well done by him. So from P14, I believe, to P3, well done.
So this is Wojtek Pelesny as well. This is what happened to him. Then this must have been on the line. So right. So I believe Florian Horser is the car that got past him. And I thought, I didn't see this. Horser, to me, I'd wrote down that Horser had been eliminated.
That's the reason why he got mad. Okay.
So Pelesny's bounced off the wall.
Why is he having the boost on there all the time? So Pelesny, always the fire is on, but I think it's just a glitch in the software. It looks like he's having an extra boost there, but he definitely doesn't. All the cars are the same. And push to pass is only in the race. But he clips the wall here.
Too early on turning.
Yeah. And, okay, now I get why he got mad. Yeah. Because he lost that position to actually fight for another lap.
And especially if the two in front has that chance to maybe then get through to the next lap.
Exactly.
Mad at himself.
Yeah.
Mad at himself.
On him. It's on him.
And this is where we see Racer League to Challenger League. Challenger League, a few incidents yesterday that we had to look at where drivers picked up penalties. Today, it is all little driver errors that we're seeing. And this is the fine line between Challenger League and Racer League of the professionalism these boys have. Yeah. That Wojtek Pelesny, we saw the onboard camera. He was so annoyed at himself for just touching a wall.
Yeah, exactly. And I know why he's as close to the wall as he was, because you gain more time if you're very close to that wall, because it's the circle straight, right? So you go through, it's a left-hander in the end, and you gain a lot of time if you're just on the inside. Maybe he was just too close.
I called it at the beginning of the program the Monaco of Racing Unleashed, and you see coming into the swimming pool at Monaco how close drivers get to the barrier there. That's the same for Wojtek there. He's just got as close as he dares, and he got a little too close as drivers looking at footage and going over things.
Yeah, they're always checking and, reviewing what has happened in the knockout. So they will have some interesting talks. And we see Kevin Aby there, who had a knockout ban, and he will eventually be back in the race now. Let's see how he does then. Right?
He'll be back in the race, but there's no David Ladamada.
Yeah, David, he had an emergency somewhere at work, so that's why he can't participate.
So knockout ban will carry over for David to Monza.
Yeah.
So he will carry on his knockout ban there. So that promotes Augustin Torlacci and Marcus Valverde to 16th and 17th. They'd have got the chance, obviously, if they're in the lounges on a Racer League event, they'll see the pace of the drivers anyway, but they've got a lot of work to do in this race as we go and head to the track preview. So the track preview of this fantastic Zurich circuit, 7.6 kilometres long. And after the track preview, I believe we get to see highlights of what happened last year.
I don't remember what happened last year.
P2 to P7, it says on my
Who was that?
Fabio.
Oh, okay, Fabio. Yeah. There are several Fabios.
Didn't write down a surname.
We actually have 3 Fabios at Racing Unleashed. You know that?
No, I didn't. Well, I didn't write down a surname, so we'll see. But track preview coming up for this fantastic circuit in which me and Fabio Vertiga will be bringing you our Racing Unleashed sporting director. Gone from driver to sporting director. It's a fancy title.
Not too bad, huh?
The track preview, though, of this Zurich Airport circuit, 7.6 kilometres in length. It's the longest circuit on the calendar. We're reaching speeds of up to 300 kilometres an hour, so it's also a very fast circuit. 16 legendary turns. It's exclusive to Racing Unleashed, and it is the battle on the runway.
Yeah, exactly. A very interesting track. A favourite of the drivers, really. And yeah, you start on a circus straight. A little funny name, but yeah, you go around that new construction there, and then straight into the BP turn, where you have to be careful on the exit, because we've just seen it with Smeedel and Poleshny. There is a little wall that sticks out.
There is a little wall that sticks out, and when you get through the BP turn, you come down to RU1 and RU2. Double right-hander, a little like the Lesmos will be at Monza in a few weeks' time. Very tight section to get through. You've got to get it done at RU1 because you're not going to get it done at RU2.
Exactly. So get a good run out of RU2, and then this is a tricky one. Chicane 34. Don't overdo it on the exit, because on the entry you need a good exit to have maybe a go onto this one here.
Yeah, down the runway you come, a fast part of the circuit, left and right, really at near enough top speed. As you head down, it's crucial to get a good run through there as you come to Regazzoni, the next heavy braking zone, and a chance to look up the inside as the corner really starts to tighten.
Yeah, a chance to actually do an overtake, but maybe also be a bit more patient, wait through the Swiss S, and then on the long straight, get into the slipstream and get a move done in, I believe it's Rega.
Yeah, into Dock E, then a chance for drivers to use their push to pass as we come through the flat out right and left into Rega, then where it really starts to tighten up. And you see a lot of drivers we saw in knockout, a lot of congestion into the GAC, where it again tightens up. Good run as possible before you get to the track to open up a little bit into the final part.
Exactly, and Cloten has obviously the last real opportunity to stick your nose to the inside there and get a move done. Don't hit the wall like Poleshny there, and yeah, go over the line.
Get a crucial run out that final part as you come over the start curve.
Yeah.
Seems a better name. The start curve.
Start
line.
I mean, the building is called Circle. That's why they used it,
the start circle. You need a good run down there because it's a long part as well. It's quite a lengthy part of the track where you can get a good run out the final tight section into the BP.
Yep.
So you can get alongside, possibly get a move done. We saw yesterday, we've seen stage drivers clip that wall and bounce into other cars, that it can cause problems at times. So the last time we was here for the Racer League, we had our ambassador, Mr. JWW, with us, and he joined me and Fabio for the Rush Hour programme, and he joined me on the commentary for the race after. He's made a little behind-the-scenes video that we can now take a look at.
Wow, there's some serious gear. Look at this. Isn't it pretty incredible that they've got like full-on live sports degree level of broadcasting tech here for all of the racing lounges? Absolutely nuts. This place is awesome, man. It's really, really cool. So, yeah, if you ever get into a Racing Unleashed sim, don't take for granted the technology involved in it. These guys are not playing around. So the next time you tune into a Racing Unleashed race live, you'll see Matt here, who's getting mic'd up now. And he'll be standing at these tables. He'll often be on the green screen, so he pops up virtually during the race. And it is full on. Full-blown studio job. This is pretty cool. So yeah, sometimes I get asked, what else do you do outside of YouTube? Well, we come and do live presenting. And we do things like that. So, but this is one of the coolest studios for sure. I like this. I'm plugged into the matrix.
The international. So this section here, this is the mothership. This is the magic machine. This is an incredible machine, and you need two people to go for it. Normally you need 4 people, but we don't have the space and not enough people experienced enough to work with it. This is proper. And this is really high tech. High tech. And we are on the edge, Yeah.
Sebastian Hirsch. Hirsch trying to attack Sinan Tamurbas. Gasly now within 0.6 of the Sebastian Hirsch. It's under nearly half a second to Sebastian Hirsch. He must be listening to us, James, because he's flying. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Fantastic.
Really great. That was thoroughly enjoyable.
Off the top. Next time you hear some commentary, don't take it for granted. They are very skilled people. Very skilled people. Thank you very much.
This is Racing Unleashed Beyond the Pinnacle.
Little star there.
Famous, you said the other day.
Yeah.
On Discord, famous. Brilliant. Great to see our ambassador there sort of do a behind-the-scenes clip of what goes on. You got to see our fantastic, lovely, beautiful producer up there as well, Oliver, who, with the magic machine and everything else upstairs, it's the hard work that goes into it, the hard work to build the studio and get everything ready. It's just a fantastic to see behind what we actually do here, what you guys don't get to see off camera, that the work and everything that Racing Unleashed and everybody has to put in.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and a lot of people are actually involved. Not only Ollie and RTV, it's also with that studio Screen Pro. So huge thanks to them to put this together. Anyway, all the people who are working in the background. I mean, we are just the guys in front, and obviously we have our drivers, the stars. But there's so many people involved in the back who do a brilliant job in putting this together. Yeah.
And James had a massive smile on his face when he was last here. He really seemed to enjoy the experience of broadcasting with us on Rush Hour, and he really enjoyed the commentary after. I managed to catch up with James in the airport a little later on that afternoon, and the smile was still from ear to ear. He just still couldn't believe the kind of shows and performances we put on.
Yeah, because it was a first for him. It's the first time he actually did a live commentating, and he was a bit nervous. He told me that, but he loved it. So, and you guys, you combined really well. I thought the mix of you, 2 mother tongues, obviously, having a chat there, commentating brilliantly. I loved it.
There's a great crowd starting to form in Kemptall, and the crowd decided to give us all a wave. So pick your driver, tell us would stand there who you think is going to win, because we'll ask Fabio that all-important question now. Race winner. Pressure today as well, because you got it right yesterday.
I know, I got it right yesterday. And we have obviously Smeedle in P3, Sanchez in P4. Tricky bit, really. I would say one of the two, but I can't really decide. I would go for Smeedle.
So you're going for Smeedle, who was race winner last time out as well.
Last year?
Yeah, last year. So last time after the Zurich circuit, he was there. You go Smeedle, I'll go Sanchez then.
You got Sanchez?
I'll go Sanchez.
Okay.
You've got Smeedle, I've got Sanchez. So there you go. Smeedle and Sanchez are today's sort of vote between us. And Fabio was right yesterday. But that is it for Rush Hour. Fabio, thank you very much. We'll catch you at the end of the programme.
Thank you.
So we now are going to head into our race. It is time to go racing here at the Zurich circuit. The grid has been set. We'll run through the order in a few moments' time. It is going to be fantastic, though. You saw the drivers just started to prepare to get back into the cockpits a moment ago. So they really now have a chance and an opportunity to make sure everything is correct and ready to go. They've got to get comfortable in themselves, and they're going to visualise the track, visualise their start procedure, and do all the things that they do when they're in their cockpit. But let's go down to the virtual grid.
This is Racing Unleashed Beyond the Pinnacle.
And it is green and go. It's a good start from Rock already. They make contact. Absolutely flying. He's a man on a mission at the moment. straight into the gravel. So what's happened up front? Oh, it's chaos. Can't overtake, he said. Augustin Torlacci, a very happy man. Kiss on the simulator as well.
This is Racing Unleashed.
And welcome back. We are here on our virtual grid where our drivers are in their cockpits and are preparing to go. This man, currently the one to watch in the Challenger League. He'll be starting from P17. Marcus Valverde is going to go from P17 from Madrid as a special guest today. Augustin Torlacci in Madrid as well. P16 for him. He'll be as well a guest driver for today. P16 for Augustin Torlacci in this one. P15 then is the start of the Race League drivers. It's Kevin Aby in Zurich after his knockout qualifying ban. He starts from 15th place on the grid. A lot of work for him to do today to score some points. As he heads then to P14 to Angelo Michel, race winner last time out. He's in Munich in P14. Angelo, P14, a lot of work to do. Can you get some points today?
That will be the goal. So I think the situation is very easy. It's not much to lose, everything to gain. It was a very bad knockout race. We will see what is the outcome of this.
We'll see what the outcome is. Angelo, we wish you the best of luck and good luck in the race.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Angelo Michel there. 14th place for him. Mark Gasner will go from 13th place in Munich as well after we saw his little moment in the replays. He'll be lining up P13 on the grid. Just behind Jan Teufen then, P12 in Kemptol, where he just outside the top 10. He's missed a few races, long extended break he's had, but he's back today and he's back to hopefully score some good points this season and hopefully get some points away. Wojciech Polezny, P11 in the knockout session. What can he do from that place? We saw he clipped the wall at the end to lose out on going through to the next lap before Christoph Holstein will be in the top 10. First man inside the top 10. In the points at the moment, David Seed is P9 in Madrid. David, we can speak to you now. P9, what can you do in the race?
Yeah, I hope I can get some good points for the championship and that's it.
Is a podium on offer today?
I don't know.
Well, David, we wish you the best luck. We'll let you focus and get on with the race. Good luck.
Thank you.
David Seed there in P9. Florian Harser, P8 then. He's got some work to do. And look at this, a surprise to us. Michael Smeedel must have picked up a penalty somewhere because he's down in P7, it says there. But Florian Harser is the man going from P8. Smeedel now from P7 in Munich. He has got job to do. Michael, we can speak with you now. Demoted to P7, but you have pace today.
Yeah, let's see.
What are the goals in the race? What can you achieve?
Survive and take the money home.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, Michael. Go and get them.
Thank you.
It's Michael Smeedel there. P7, fully focused on what he needs to do. David Eastgrove will go from P6 then in this race from Kemptol. The man who was on pole in the knockout session. P6 for him at the end of this one before he lines up along just behind Sebastian Hirsch, who goes from P5. He's got a good job now. He's been promoted up a couple of spots. P5 for Sebastian in a race where he's just outside the podium. Championship leader Alejandro Sanchez is P4. Alejandro promoted to P4. What's the goal in this race?
The same as in every race. Win.
Win. Were you going to get it done turn one?
I mean, you can always lose a race in T1, but you can never win it, as they say. So, yeah, I mean, I'll try my best.
Well,
I'll just do my best.
Best of luck, Alejandro.
Thank you.
So, Alejandro Sanchez, P4. Enrique Marinon will line up in P3 then. Currently on the podium spots, can he keep hold of it? Loris Mistretta will go from P2, the Italian driver, and our pole sitter, Sinan Demerbas, is there ready to go. P1 for Sinan. So, great stuff for all our drivers today. And as we pan back around to our virtual studio, it's fantastic to see them all getting ready and being prepared in their task. We've climbed back up to the tower and it's going to be a fantastic race to go. We now prepare to get the race underway. This is now the crucial bit where the drivers have got to get in a zone, get focused and fully ready to go. They're lined up on the grid. They are ready to go. The revs rise. Everybody stays stationary, which is great to see. The lights come on now, and for round 5 of the Racer League season, we are green and go here for race 5 at the Zurich Airport circuit, and it is a good start from everybody down towards turn 1. That is Loris Mistretta, who's already looking up the inside of Sinan de Merbat. They just tap wheels a little bit. Mistretta looks like he's got himself through, and that is a good position made. Cars bunched up in the background as drivers looking everywhere to get through. David Seed's already up to P6. Sanchez has tumbled down the standings. He's down in P12, so it's gone horribly wrong for him. David Seed's now down to 17th, so just as he made up a few places, he's dropped back as well. Loris Mistretta leads from Sinan de Merbat. Hirsch is up to P3. Smeedle has gone from 7th to 4th on the opening few corners. Great to see from Michael Smeedle there. Enrique Marin on P3, and that is Sinan. It has all gone horribly wrong. He's bounced off the curbs into the gravel. That is not what he wants to see. And now Michael Smeedle up the inside of Sebastian Hirsch. Oh no, Loris Mistretta's made a mistake and Smeedle leads. So within 3-4 corners, 2 mistakes and 1 overtake, and Michael Smeedle leads this race, and it's gone horribly wrong for Sinan de Merbat and for Loris Mistretta there, just losing the rear end. And all of a sudden now, Smeedle, is he going to do what he did all last season, sail off into the sunset? That's what you've got to wonder. Hirsch is going to try and stick with him. Smeedle's actually used 2 usages of push to pass already, so clearly wanting to use it early on. Florian Horser here being attacked by Angelo Mikel, who's come from the back of the pack up to P7 already. Great move from Mikel. Horser looks to come back at him up the inside. Room given by Mikel. They just rub wheels a little bit there, and that puts Mikel back through. Goes a little deep. He now has that inside line. He's had to make it tighter for himself. Now Mark Gasner's getting involved, and Mikel, each way he goes, there's another car appearing. Horser has to go very wide there to give Mikel the room, and they get the job done. Not sure where Gasner's gone. Kevin Aby's just got ahead of him, as is Augustin Torlaci, who's up to P11. Valverde's down to 14th. Gasner's had a spin, we've just been told, so he's lost it on himself then. Valverde's only 14th on his guest appearance, and Alejandro Sanchez down in 15th place. But Smeedle out front already. Great opening lap for him. Mort Gasner's now back ahead of Kevin Aby then into ninth. They're having a little battle behind us here. Here is Smeedle. As calm as you like at the minute. He can control the pace around him. Into chicane 34 we go. And now Kevin Aby once again on the back of Mark Gasner. David Seed is just behind these two as well. And there is Kevin Aby. Had a bit of an extended break because he had to miss that knockout qualifying due to being banned for it. He's now fully refreshed, ready to go. Loris Mistretta on the back of David Seed. Augustin Torlaci on the back of Mistretta. After he lost the rear of his car on his own, he went from 1st to 12th as Loris in this race. So what a shame for him. Augustin Torlaci. Racer League debut. No points or prize money on offer for this young man or for Valverde. But it's going to be great experience for him to race against these quicker drivers, and a great learning curve for Torlaci here to have a go. Horse has just got past, Mikel has got past Devin Iskro. So Angelo Mikel, was P6. Iskro's got back ahead at the moment. And they are exchanging places. Hand over fist at the moment. Mikel back up to 6th now. Just behind us, Alejandro Sanchez has got himself ahead of Valverde. And here is Florian Horser then up the inside. Oh, he's made the corner a bit too tight. Just taps Devin Iskro a little bit there. Devin now is going to tuck back in behind. Smeedle fastest lap of the race. He's only got 4 uses to push to pass left. Devin Iskro keeping that tighter line. As Fabio said, it's the quick way around the circuit. They just bump off each other a little more there. Now Horser late on the brakes. Can you get it done into the BP turn? He's going to try on the exit. You see the momentum through the exit, but now Horser's going to have that run. Over the railway we go. and towards RU1 and 2. Horser later on the brakes once again to the outside. Didn't work. Was there a little bit of contact there? Horser in the gravel. Tyres a little dirty as he rejoins into RU1 and RU2. Mark Gazner now on the back of Horser once again. As Valverde's got past Torlacci then. Rivals in the Challenger League. Them two will know how to race each other. They've raced each other all season. Christoph Holstein is on the back, and even though what happened early doors for Sanchez, he still looks calm and he still looks like he's eager to score some points. He's not far off the back of points, and there's a good group of 4 or 5 cars in front of him. Kevin Abey then trying to make up a place over David Seed. That will then give him at least a point here. Come from the back of the pack with Kevin Abey, and he's trying to get himself into the points. There's the view back from Florian Horser, 1.2 seconds behind Devin Eastro. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in a train behind him. One of them being Mark Gazner. Is he going to pull out and look to the inside? He is indeed. Oh, a bit of a wiggle. Was there contact made? There is now. And Horser's off. David Seed's gone through, and Gazner's tapped Seed round. Horser's back through. Mistretta's through. That is Alejandro Sanchez now looking up the inside of another car, 3 wide. 3 into 1 doesn't work. It didn't there again. And Alejandro Sanchez now 9th place in the points. Gazner's all of a sudden got Valverde on the back of him now. No, that's Torlacci. Valverde is ahead. Sanchez, that's exactly what he would have needed. Drivers to trip up each other and get out in front. Alejandro Sanchez now gets another place. That is Kevin Abey and Loris Mistretta, the 2 drivers in Kemptol, battling it out for 10th place, and one of them's in the wall, and it's Kevin Abey who it is. So Valverde up to 11th, Gazner's 12th, Torlacci's 13th, Kevin Abey down to 14th place. So Sanchez on the back of Horser, 7/10 of a second. Jan Tufen has got past Abey as well. Holstein's down in 17th, not sure what's happened to him. David Seed after being spun around well off the back, but Sanchez now can try and catch Florian Horser. And he's got to try and treat this now like a knockout qualifying session. He's got to pick them off one by one and use his pace to get through. Smeedle has not used any push to pass for a while, and is currently 1 second clear of Sebastian Hirsch. Hirsch, though, has got Marinon hunting him down, but they both have 6 and 7 laps worth of push to pass left. Another man we've not mentioned at the moment is Wojciech Polezny. He's currently ahead of Sinan Demirbas on track in P4. So good stuff for Polezny here, as Marinon really starting to put Sebastian Hirsch under some pressure then. A driver from Madrid. Sanchez has got past Horser on the timing screen, so Sanchez has got that move done. Mark Gazner's got ahead of Valverde. So that's another place for Gazner, puts him close to the back of Mistretta for some points. And Sanchez up another place. He's not going to lose as many points now to Smeedle. That is 1 more done. Heavy on the brakes for Sebastian Hirsch into the BP corner, who's just actually got that gap down to under a second through there to Smeedle out front. So Smeedle not pulling away and dropping Sebastian Hirsch here. So here comes Florian Horser. When's he hit the brakes? Now he hits the brakes into corner. Sanchez already finds himself on the back of Devin Eastro then, so a few gaps starting to form, a few drivers within striking distance. Devin Eastro now is under pressure from Mikel, and we said he's got to treat it like a knockout qualifying session, except you don't get eliminated under pressure from Sanchez here, apologies. We said that Sanchez has treats like a knockout session, except he doesn't get eliminated. A little lock up into Regazzoni there. And now Sanchez. He's on the hunt. Oh, he's not. Oh, keep that under control. You're not going to be on the hunt if you keep that under Don't keep that under control there. He's now allowed Horser onto the back of him once again. Florian Horser, there's a gaggle of cars trying to catch him. Devin Eastro liking knockout. A bit of the trolley train at the moment as Sanchez pulls out. And that is great move from Sanchez. Up the inside, job done, push to pass. Thank you very much, he says. And Alejandro Sanchez up another position then. Now got a tough task ahead because he's got 7 seconds just under to gain on Angelo Michel. He's got to go at just under a second a lap quicker than Michel. And Angelo Michel, by the way, qualified P14. He's come all the way up to P6, so he's been flying at the moment. Here is Michel. He's on the back of Sinan de Mirbas. So with time running out, Sanchez knows he's got to start to outdo Michel. But while Michel's in a fight with de Mirbas here, this could be the chance that Sanchez needs to close that gap rather quick. Because Michel seems to have a bit of pace at the moment. Coming to the chicane 34 now. There is Horser on the back of Devin Eastro with Loris Mistretta now behind as well. These three in that 8th, 9th, 10th spot, the final points positions. Mark Gasner trying to close on them. There is Florian Horser. I have to say, if you're in that Munich lounge, it's a good day for you. It's even going to get even better now as Horser goes up the inside. He's going to have the outside. And it's already job done on Devin Eastro. Horser moves to P8. Great day for Munich at the moment. 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and now P8. As Loris Mistretta now looks to attack Devin Eastro in the background. Loris Mistretta in the green simulator in Kemptol. Devin Eastro in the red. Loris Mistretta there just couldn't get that move done this time around, but he will look to attack. In fact, he uses push to pass. So can he now go up the inside? He does look up the inside. Loris Mistretta through with push to pass. Devin Eastro, if he's saving it, he needs to start using it because he's running out of times here, although he's coming back at Mistretta up the inside on the left-hander. He's had to take such a tight line and break a bit earlier that he's not got the job done. Devin Eastro down to 10th. Mark Gasner's not too far behind either. And Smeedel now uses a bit more push to pass. He's now 6/10 quicker on the last lap. He's pulled a gap of 1.5 seconds to Sebastian Hirsch. And Sanchez has the gap down to 5.7. How much did he gain on this last lap as Angelo Michel still on the back of de Mirbas? Well, Sanchez does a personal best lap, gains 9/10 of a second on the last lap. So he said just under a second a lap he needs to gain. Well, he's doing just that at the moment is Alejandro Sanchez. Sinan de Mirbas here, just starting to hold Michel up a little bit, and Sanchez starting to gain, but he's got time at the moment, does Sinan de Mirbas and Angelo Michel. Got plenty of time at hand here. Lap 7 of 15 at the moment. As Angelo Michel still trying to pressurise the back of Sinan de Mirbas. De Mirbas has got 2 usages of push to pass more. Speaking of pressure, Enrique Marinon starting to put some pressure on Sebastian Hirsch now. That gap is 6/10 of a second. That is Smeedel just up front. 1.3 ahead. Still within striking range of Hirsch, and they still have push to pass used. Smeedel uses another one. He's got 2 usages left. Hirsch now uses 1. Does Marinon think of using 1 here? No, he doesn't. So Hirsch lost a bit of time to Smeedel as Smeedel activated it early. Hirsch uses it later and just recovers them couple of tenths that he lost. Michel's got past de Mirbas. 2 usages of push to pass left. Angelo Michel has cleared Sinan de Mirbas as Sanchez uses 1 as well. He's not now, he's in the gravel. So de Mirbas is back through. Dirty tyres for Michel now. Well, while them 2 are squabbling, Sanchez is within striking, well, not within striking range at the moment, but he's only 3.2 off the back. Gasner and Mistretta have got past Devin Eastro. David Seed has got past Kevin Aby, so Aby's down to 16th. Holstein yet to use a push to pass lap at the moment, down in 17th place. As Sebastian Hirsch, that's the fastest lap here. Valverde on the back of Devin Eastro. Plenty of experience from last night around this Zurich circuit. The headband to match the simulator today. And Marcus Valverde on the back of Devin Eastro. He's got Augustin Torlacci with him as well. But it's Smeedl from Hirsch, Marinon, Polesny, de Merbas, your top 5 at the moment. And Angelo Michel within a second, 1.2 of de Merbas. Sanchez, 2.7 off the back lap, 8 of 15. Sanchez is getting closer. He's got 2 usages of push to pass more than Angelo Michel. We're currently watching one of the filler drivers today, Marcus Valverde, stepping up for a one-off appearance in Racer League this season. And he's currently doing quite well at the moment. He will obviously need to take this experience on board, as will Augustin Torlacci. Take the experience on board. Here's a man that Valverde knows too well. Racing him last season, David Seed. On the back of Mathew Duffin, he sees Augustin Torlacci and Valverde just in front as well. Nice throttle control from David Seed there. You just hear him. You just have to hurry up and wait a little bit on some of these corners. Really does make you want to wait. You want to get the foot down early to get on the power, but you just can't. David Seed though pulls out, job done. P14, Mathew Duffin down to 15th place in this one. He's going to come back at him here though, up the inside at the left-hander. Duffin, Seed gives him room, and did they just make slight contact there? AB's got back ahead of Seed now. So Seed losing all momentum through the gravel. Sanchez to de Merbas 1 second. Michel to de Merbas 1 second. Sanchez to Michel 2.1. He took another 9/10 out of Angelo Michel last time around. Did Alejandro Sanchez. Hirsch has brought the gap back down to Smeedl up front. That gap's down to 1 second. As here comes Holstein on the back of David Seed now to the outside of the BP turn. Looking for that switchback, can't get it done. Kevin Aby just in front. Not been the weekend for Christoph Holstein. This one, it'll be one he'll want to put behind him and look to Monza already. It's Holstein here, really trying to find a way through on David Seed. Cannot do so at the moment. So Smeedl to Hirsch, 1.1 seconds. Hirsch to Marinon, 7/10. Big gap back to Polesny then of 6 seconds. And Angelo Michel back on the rear. Kevin Aby's made a mistake, and that's allowed Seed and Holstein through. Valverde's still on the back of Devin Eastgrove. Can't find a way through at the moment, but Michel on the back of de Merbas once again. Keep that car under control, Marcus. Very well done. Here's Holstein now on the back of David Seed. Angelo Michel's gap's gone back up, so as he had a little mistake, Sanchez within 1.9 seconds now. Smeedl's used another push to pass. That gap's back to 1 second, at 1.6 seconds. Lap 9 of 15. Smeedl in the final part of the circuit to go on to lap 10 of 15. And Sanchez can start to... Oh, what's happened there? Bit of a glitch. Right. Don't worry, Sanchez is still going. Everything is fine at the moment. He's not gone off the track. There is that is Kevin Aby having a look on Holstein there. You're not going to get it done through that section. So de Merbas personal best, 10th quicker than Angelo Michel. Sanchez 3/10 quicker than Michel that time around. Aby patiently waiting behind Holstein and David Seed. So they come through to the start line again. Smeedl's on lap 10 already. Devin Eastgrove pumps in his fastest lap of the race. Oh, close. Close that between Holstein and David Seed there. Just keeping my eyes on these gaps. Marinon's now down to half a second to Sebastian Hirsch. There's Holstein again very close to the back of David Seed. Into the RU1 and 2. So yeah, so Marinon within half second of Hirsch. Michel 6/10 to de Merbas. Gasner's within 9/10 of Mistretta. Valverde, as we switch to him now, as if by magic, he's already up the inside of Devin Eastgrove. Big lift for Valverde there. Eastgrove, whoa! Has to avoid the sausage curves and forces Valverde to take an even wider line. And Torlacci, he's not going to want a second invitation. He's going to take that big wiggle there from Devin Eastgrove, but Valverde gets that place back, and Marinon out front has got ahead of Sebastian Hirsch for P2. Hirsch has come back at him now. And they're still side by side. This is Angelo Mikel now ahead of De Mirbas, so he's got the job done. He's got no push to pass left, but Angelo Mikel is up to 5th. Sanchez 1.5 off the back of these two. And Hirsch is hung on to 2nd place from Marinon. And Angelo Mikel up into P5 now. So P5 for Mikel at the moment. Valverde's up to 12th, Seeds 13th, Holstein 14th, Duffin has dropped to 15th, for Torlachi has dropped to 17th place. So I'm not sure what's happened there. But a moment for Augustin Torlachi. David Seeds dropped down the order a bit now. As Kevin Aby at Holstein, not sure what's gone off at the back of the pack. The place is being changed all around. So Mikel now has got to defend 4 laps from De Mirbas, who has 4 usages of push to pass left. Here is Holstein, 3 seconds off the back of Kevin Aby. Out front though, this man, with 1 usage of push to pass left, 2 seconds. Just about clear of Sebastian Hirsch at the moment. He knows the job he's got to do. Marinon back within 6/10. Devin Eastgrove and Valverde have got past Mistretta. So now does Kevin Aby. So Devin Eastgrove back in the points here. Hirsch can still see Smeedle at the moment. But will know that Marinon's coming. And there is Enrique Marinon just in the background of Sebastian Hirsch here then. Top 3 absolutely gone. Pelesny, quiet race for him in P4. Not really seen much of Wojciech Pelesny in this one. As Enrique Marinon P3 at the moment. Coming towards the end of yet another lap. It'll be the end of 11 and the start of 12. Sanchez is now half a second behind De Mirbas. He's still about 1.5 seconds behind Angelo Mikel. There is the rear view mirror of Sebastian Hirsch looking to the back of the rear wing of the car. And there you see Enrique Marinon. And this man, Alejandro Sanchez, is now absolutely charging at the moment. He is flying. He's on the back of De Mirbas. He's got pace. 9/10 quicker than De Mirbas last lap. 6/10 quicker than Angelo Mikel in front. Tries to tuck underneath, can't do so. Gets the power down now. Sinan's got a tough task to defend from this. Is Sanchez going to have a look on the inside? De Mirbas leaves the door open. And Sanchez has robbed him blind there of P6. Great move from Alejandro Sanchez. He's made up another one yet again. He's absolutely flying in this race. And he's only 1.7 off the back of Angelo Mikel with another couple of usages of push to pass. Mikel has none left at his disposal. So for Sanchez here, he's really got a job now to gain that time over Angelo Mikel here then. Hirsch, 6/10 to Marinon. Sanchez, 1/2 second to De Mirbas. Valverde, 3/10 to Devin Eastgrove. Kevin Aby's got Loris Mistretta right behind him. David Seed's got Christoph Holstein and Torlachi right behind him. So a few battles happening around the circuit. We're coming towards the final sector of lap 12. To start 13, so there'll be 3 laps left after this. Now if Valverde does get past Devin Eastgrove, Eastgrove will still get them points for 10th place. Marinon has got ahead of Hirscho on the timing screen. So Enrique Marinon moves himself into 2nd place here. He's got an extra usage of push to pass over Sebastian Hirsch as well, but Enrique Marinon has done it in the final sector and has got ahead of Sebastian Hirsch. But Hirsch hasn't given up the fight towards the BP turn 1. Is he going to look to switch back underneath? Can't do so because Marinon does brilliantly to put it on the apex. And Hirsch now has got to find a way through. Sanchez last lap lost a 10th to Angelo Mikel. Does Hirsch have what it takes to come back at Enrique Marinon here? Not like that, he doesn't. He's gone very, very wide through the S's. And that's going to put him right off as they come through this chicane 34. It was all U2 actually that he went very wide on. 6/10 of a second now. Marinon's got 2 usages left. Sebastian Hirsch has 1. Sanchez still within a second and a half of Angelo Michel. Time running out for Sanchez. He's got 2 usages left, but he wants to be closer before he uses one. May have to do this tactically here. He may have to use a push to pass to get him onto the back of Angelo Michel, then use the second one to get ahead. Valverde still chasing down Devin Iskro. Hirsch now uses his last lap of push to pass. Marinon uses one as well. He's got 1 left to use. So Hirsch has got to do this now on pure pace in this race. Florian Harser, P8, 5 usages of push to pass left to use here. Valverde on the back of Iskro still. Decent showing from Valverde here. Decent showing indeed. If he does make that step up to the Racer League for 2024, he's going to be showing that he has got a little bit of pace to maybe score some good points throughout the season. Sanchez within a second nearly of Angelo Michel. As behind Valverde, see Kevin Abey, Loris Mistretta, David Seed, Christoph Holstein, Augustin Torlacci then. So we've started lap 14, penultimate lap of the race, and Sanchez is just over a second behind Angelo Michel here. So he's got 2 laps to get it done. Valverde will want 10th place, even though there's no points and prize money on offer for 10th place for him today. To go the way of Devin Iskro, he'll want that 10th place so that on paper he can say, I did it, I would have scored points in the Racer League. Hirsch coming back at Marinon, 6/10 the gap. Did drop to half a second. Marinon, though, still has that 1 last usage of push to pass. Sanchez now under a second to Angelo Michel. You just feel for Hirsch. Time is running out. Lap 14 of 15. Marinon's got 1 use left. Does Hirsch have enough in the tank to get the job done here? But Sanchez, 8/10 of a second now to Angelo Michel. So he's coming. He's on a charge at the moment. Is Sanchez. P5 is the best he's going to get, because he's not going to gain the 3.5 seconds to catch Wojciech Polezny. As we're coming round to the final sector to start lap 15 in the final lap of this race, they both use, it's him and Demerbas who use push to pass. Sanchez within 4/10 of a second now. So he's gained a little bit more through that push to pass. He's within a 10th. He's within half a 10th. He's now ahead of Angelo Michel on the timing screens there. Sebastian Hirsch still trying to close down Enrique Marinon, and Alejandro Sanchez has got ahead of Angelo Michel. So good points again, just closing that gap between himself and Schmiedl in the points. Bit of a wiggle there for Alejandro Sanchez. And Angelo Michel on exit, so Sanchez 1 lap left. P5 is the best he can hope for in this race. He's 3.5 behind Wojciech Polezny, so he's not going to get that one done. Kevin Abey, what's happened to him? He's dropped to 17th. He's had a big moment somewhere. Down in 17th place now. Mistretta's got onto the back of Valverde. There is Kevin Abey. So down in 17th, here's Valverde. Looking then on Devin Iskro at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see where Devin Iskro can get. Where Valverde can get. Can he get himself into that top 10 where they have to start to fend in from Loris Mistretta? We're on the last lap though. Schmiedl's halfway through the lap. 3 seconds is his gap. Sebastian Hirsch still within that second of Marinon, but Marinon has that push to pass usage left with it at his disposal, so you kind of feel that for Hirsch it's going to take a mistake from Marinon for that to get done. Valverde here with 2 usages left as well. Really closes on Valverde, on Iskro through the chicane. And now Marinon uses his last push to pass. He's now gapped Hirsch 1.6. So that is that put to bed. Gains half second on Schmiedl, but he's too far behind Schmiedl as well to do anything in this one, as this man, he got ahead early in the race. He made 1 overtake to do it that we saw. The other 2 drivers fell by the wayside. And Schmiedl now, it was his first podium last time out at Imola. Michael Schmiedl He's going to make it back-to-back Munich wins. He wins here at the Zurich Airport circuit. Michael Smeedle, your race winner today. Great to see. And the cool, calm emotions. No tap of the simulator this time around for Smeedle. Enrique Marinon, P2, P3 will go the way of Sebastian Hirsch. Very well done for him. Polesny, quiet race. Didn't see anything of him. P4. Alejandro Sanchez will cross the line for P5. Angelo Mikel, P6. Sinan de Merbas from pole gets 7th place. Florian Horser, P8. And then Mark Gasner, P9. Devin Iskro. Is he just going to hang on to that P10? I believe he will. And indeed he does. Valverde crosses the line then in 11th. Loris Mistretta crosses the line, P12. P13 goes the way of David Seed. Not the race he would have hoped for. There is Sinan de Merbas and co in Munich. And there is the Munich Lounge, all nice and calm before the podium celebration then. And in Madrid, a few laughs around. Enrique Marinon can be happy with his work for P2. It was a good job for Enrique Marinon. And it will be 2nd place today. Provisionally, obviously all these results are provisional. There's a wave there from our fans in Madrid. Thank you very much for that. But great work for Enrique Marinon. I'm sure Augusto Torlacci and Valverde as well will take some experience from this and will take some, make it a learning curve for them. And there is Devin Iskro, who managed to hang on for P10 in that race. And you just see how hard he's had to work for that one in the cockpit. As the drivers all come back around to the pit lane then. Fantastic race and fantastic moves, I say, from Smeedle. But that man, Loris Mistretta, what's going through his head? He was leading the race and made the mistake on his own where he dropped the rear of the car. Kevin Aby from the back of the grid. Just outside the points for him as well. All looks a bit glum in Kemptthal at the minute. Not many smiles going on in Kemptthal. As race control now will look at everything. They're already looking at an incident. Middle monitor is one they're sort of investigating at the moment. You see it rocked back and forth a little bit there. Oh, and that's the incident where 3 into 1 didn't work. We are joined by Fabio once again. Fabio, welcome back. Interesting race.
Very interesting, yeah. Especially first lap. What do you think of it?
Yeah, a bit happened.
A bit happened.
A bit happened. Smeedle couldn't have asked for a better start, though, could he? He got ahead, 2 drivers went off, and in the lead he went.
Indeed, yeah. And I wasn't actually aware that he had a penalty in the knockout, so he started from P6, 7, right? After turn 4, 5, he was in the lead.
In the lead.
Fantastic.
In the lead, which means for Zurich Airport, Fabio is the man to guess the drivers because he's 2 from 2 this weekend.
Yeah.
Well
Very
done.
good. I mean, what can I say?
you know Zurich too well.
Yeah, I know it.
It was a pretty quiet race. I'll tell you who did have a quiet race was Wojciech Polesny. Don't think we saw his car once in the entire race. P4. Good result.
Well done by him. Flawless, I guess. I didn't see what really happened in the back there. There was some mishmash in the back, really. We saw a lot of red arrows, so definitely something happened there. But, yeah, Polesny, I would say plain sailing into P4, yeah.
And you have to feel really for Sinan and Loris Mistretta, who led the race. Both made their own little errors, and it allowed Smeedle to get through. And you can't make them errors when you've got Smeedle behind you.
Good. I mean, Sinan, he told us, right, that he didn't feel very well, and also he didn't really have the pace to be up there with the guys. Still, I think he did a great job defending, but at one point he must have said, okay, now let's just maybe go for points instead of crashes. And that's what he did, so congrats to him as well.
A very calm celebration there. We're used to last season, a tap of the simulator, but a very calm, Job, as if it's job done. Yeah.
He's not a man of emotions, Michael Smeedl, but he's very happy, obviously. Especially after he started from P7, managed to go through at the end. And it wasn't an easy race. I mean, Hirsch and Marignon, they were not far away, so he had to work for it. Possibly he will tell us he just managed the race, so he didn't go full throttle. So who knows? But he's just a great driver.
He is a great driver, and it's a great win for him. But it's a provisional result at the moment. Michael Smeedl P1, Enrique Marinon P2, and Sebastian Hirsch P3. Provisionally at the moment, we've just been told though that race control don't really see anything yet that should change that. But we will bring you full confirmation when we get told about it. Great drive though from Enrique Marinon, who left it very late to get past this man.
Perfect timing in the end, right? So he had, I think, a couple push-to-pass more available to him than this guy here, Sebastian Hirsch. Managed to go through. They had a huge battle there because they were, at one point, I think, switching places. But maybe he can tell us by himself. Hello, Sebastian.
Hello, Sebastian. It was a great race. And talk us through your little fight with Enrique Marinon there.
Oh yeah, it just was an amazing race, and like it's a little bit of disappointment as this tiny bit that I couldn't hold on to P2, but Marinon had like an amazing pace, and congrats to him and to Michael. But yeah, we had an intense battle right at the end, and like he got off at one point, and I tried to like make up a gap a little bit more, but he instantly like got on my tail again. So that was fun. It was really nerve-wracking.
It was really nerve-wracking. It's great to see you back on the podium. Obviously, it's been a while since we spoke to you on the podium, so it's fantastic to have you back on here. You must be thrilled with P3, though.
Yeah, of course. It's my first time on the podium because I missed out by a bit on the season opener in Silverstone to Sanchez. No, but it just feels amazing. Like seeing all these guys have their trophies in the hand the last year and then couldn't participate half the year. And now it's been a great season so far.
Yeah, obviously for you, Sebastian, it must feel very. You must feel relief because you've been going through hell really last year with your big karting accident, breaking your legs and etc. How does it feel now to be there up there basically with the guys fighting and now stepping on the podium?
Yeah, it was really hard. So that's even more of a relief, and also seeing like, of course, I lost out a bit on the end to Michael, but that to see that you can be up there and that I can do it just gives you such a big relief. Like that's really amazing.
Well, Sebastian, congratulations on the provisional P3 at the moment. It's great to see you on the podium, and great to know that you've back recovered. One of the hardest working drivers. After his karting crash last year, he's worked so hard. And Sebastian, you deserve everything that comes your way. You've really worked hard to get here.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Provisionally P3 for Sebastian Hirsch, and I was in contact with Sebastian last year on Instagram.
No.
I said to him then, you know, you're tough enough, you can come back from this. And he has. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, he's a guy, and that's not lying now. He's in the lounge every single day.
One of the hardest workers you see. Practice. It is no joke when it comes to sim racing, and there's a lot of people out there, I've raced with a few people, that turn up on the day and expect to do well. Practice makes perfect. The saying speaks for itself. The more time you spend in these simulators, the more rewards you're going to get.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you have a new car like we have this year, right? So you need to get used to it. And there's actually a funny stat, because we record all of the rides at Racing Unleashed that have been done in the simulator. So you can actually see who did the most laps. And I don't know the number by heart now by Sebastian, but I need to look it up. But it's like double of anyone else, you know. So if it's 20,000 laps, the other guy, the second one, has 10,000 laps. So he is a massive worker. He really earned that podium. I hope it's not going to be only provisional. It's going to be a fixed P3, so well done to him, and I'm very happy.
Very happy indeed. As Munich today, I tell you what, we've said at the beginning of the season, you know, they've struggled for wins, they've struggled for podiums. Munich recently are on a roll. And today you had winner, third place. Plesny was fourth. Mikel and Demirbas top 7. Horser and Gasner in the top 10 as well. I think every driver scored a point in Munich today. So really good job by all the drivers in the Munich lounge.
I might have to reverse that.
Schmiedel today, 5 races, 5 winners. So that's both Challenger League that's got like the same stat and the Racer League.
That's awesome. I mean, fantastic for the viewers.
Brilliant.
Back home, right? But also for us, that's exactly what you want. You don't want to have those, boring championships where one guy is just driving off like last year. I mean, hats off to Michael last year, man. He did a perfect job, right? Yeah. But what the people want to see is a close fight, and not like in F1 at the moment. I mean, it's not really worth watching because you know already who wins. So yeah.
I saw a thing on TikTok the other day. Verstappen's got a penalty. He'll start from 6th or wherever, which means Max Verstappen's going to win from 6th. And I just went, yeah, probably. One man, though, who can be very happy with his second place today is Enrique Marinon. Enrique, it was a great second place and a great fight with Sebastian.
Hello, Matthew. Yeah, well, it was a really hard fight with Sebastian because, I was managing the push to pass and everything, and I think that was the thing that gave me the second place because I think he had like one push to pass when I was behind him, sorry. So, yeah.
Yeah, the extra push to pass really did help you in this race, but you kept the pressure on him the entire time.
Yeah. I had more pace, and when he just used the push to pass, I was able to get him again and don't use it at all. So, yeah.
A little question from my end, Enrique. Congrats to your P2. You said you knew that he had maybe only one push to pass left. Did you know that he only had one available to his name, or did someone tell you, or how did that happen?
No, because we have to, the stream have to be on all the time, and I have it in front. It's a bit distracting, but well, you can see all those things. So, yeah.
So you had time to look at the screens instead of racing, then. Very well done.
Yeah, because it's really long, the straight. So that's where is the time to look at the TV.
So Enrique wants to thank Racing Unleashed for changing the colour to blue and white so you can see push to pass more.
Possibly, yeah.
It's helped Enrique do. P2, though, was as best as you could have got. Obviously, you made the move on Sebastian a little too late to be able to close down Schmiedel. You've got to be very happy with today's work.
Yeah. Well, I think it was very late. I tried one time to overtake him, but I was close to crashing into the wall, so yeah, I think that was a problem. But well, congrats to Sebastian for the P3 and to Schmiedel also for the P1.
Well, Enrique, well done on the P2. We'll let you enjoy it.
Thank you.
So P2 there, and like he said, he got out of it so he didn't hit the wall and end up in a worse position. But P2, great result, great drive from Enrique today to fight Sebastian Hirsch all the way.
Yeah, definitely. And he had some time to look around, look at the stream, look at Zurich Airport maybe, But yeah, the straights are long at the Zurich.
Had to book a flight home while he's...
Possibly running late for his Swiss Airlines flight. Yeah. No, great work from Enrique, and he shows now also consistently that he's up there and he can fight for podium.
Another one that could fight for a race win. Yeah. Maybe next time out at Monza. Speaking of race wins, here is your race winner and a man who's got to be very happy with the work he has done today.
Well, I am happy with the work, but not with the steer decisions. It's pretty simple.
Is that knockout or the race are we on about there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those people are literally not doing their work properly. I mean, what's the point? I mean, we can do like random generate the championship and the outcome is going to be the same.
In terms of the race then, Michael, it was pretty much job done. Just before we get into your race, can you explain a little more what you mean by randomly generated?
Well, the format actually creates that sort of drama, but I don't have a problem with that. I mean, you have like similar incidents, and every race, the outcome or the decision is different. So yeah, what we can actually do with it.
So a lack of consistency on the race controls part is what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm not like the dirtiest driver out there, but I I have seen things that were happening on the track and there was like no further investigation or some sort of like punishment. And then I'm driving side by side with another guy. He basically ran out of the road, and I'm given the penalty. So yeah.
All right, thank you for your honesty, Michael. Definitely Racing Unleashed will look into it for sure, but maybe tell us a little bit about your race. I mean, you were starting from P7, and I think after maybe 5 to 6 turns, you were already in the lead. How did that feel?
Well, I was actually kind of surprised, especially by the mistake from the guy in the first place. I don't know who that was actually, but yeah. It was kind of easy, and then after that I just was managing, wasn't even pushing, because yeah, it's kind of easy to do a mistake on this track when you are on the edge every lap. So hard to be consistently there. I could be like, I don't know, 2 or 3 tenths every lap quicker, but yeah, in the end it didn't really made sense for me, you know.
I think we saw on air at one stage, De Merbas made a mistake, went off into the gravel. You managed to then pass who was ever in front of you, and then you all of a sudden, Loris Mistretta lose the rear of the car. You must have thought, oh, yeah, easy peasy.
Well, at that moment I was like, okay, now I need to settle a little bit. I knew that there was Sebastian behind me, and he's like a sensible driver on the same pace. So yeah, I was just looking forward to drive the laps and create that some sort of, I don't know, time trial for myself and get away a little bit.
We go to Monza in a month's time. Michael, can you replicate your win today at Monza?
It's hard to tell. You know, we have seen like yesterday in the Challenger League and now in the Race League what can happen on the track with like many incidents. So yeah, it is just random, like I'm saying all the time.
Well, Michael, we'll let you get to it. Enjoy this one. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thanks for the interview, guys. Bye-bye.
So clearly, tale of two halves, really. Disgruntled after knockout, but seems to be joyful after the race.
Yeah, definitely. I don't really know which scenes he was talking about, so I have to take a look with race control. What he was, obviously, he was thinking, okay, must be P3. But in the end, it didn't really play a role. Obviously, he got some penalty points on his roster. But
which possibly have been,
yeah,
some of them have been wiped because of the clean race.
Yeah, definitely. So well done to him. Obviously, he was a bit mad, focused on the race once again, and then just basically claimed that victory.
It wasn't as, it was closer than the Challenger League gap at the top of the championship between Sanchez and Smeedle going into this race. Sanchez crossing the line provisionally at the moment, P5, Smeedle provisional race winner. That really tightens the championship up a little bit.
Yeah, the thing, Sanchez had some bad races now. This one and the last one, right? I think twice in P5?
I think he was P8 last time.
P or something like that, yeah. So damage limitations on his end, because he was at one point at P15, I believe. So there must have happened something which didn't, play into his cards. Which is good for us, because we have a championship now at hand with many drivers close to each other. And it's going to be a real fight until the very end.
It really is going to be a real fight. Like we said, 5 winners in 5 different races. It's been absolutely fantastic. Can there be a 6th winner next time out? Well, Enrique Maranon and Sebastian Hirsch getting a podium may fancy the race win. Next time out will be the 1st and 2nd of September. That'll be at the Temple of Speed of Monza then, where we head back to Italy for our 3rd Italian race of the season. And that's going to be an interesting race. A lot of opportunities of push to pass. We have, though, some replays for you now. And here is Smeedle at the start. And don't go anywhere, because it only happens in 4 corners that he's in the lead of this race. So we come down towards turn 1. A decent start from Smeedle. So he's gone from 7th. He's already now running P6. Looks to the middle of the road. He's going to get up the inside. Oh, bit of contact there again. Oof, very lucky that car didn't get turned into him. He's now up to P3. As we now come down towards turn 2. This is where, I believe, it's De Merbas in the purple car. Mistretta's in the green car. I think it's Haase in the white.
Yep.
So he gets past Haase. This is where De Merbas makes a mistake. We've seen this from drivers all weekend. Too greedy on the curb, into the gravel trap on the exit.
Uses push to pass now.
Good run down towards the S's.
Gets Hasse, and then at front, it's Mistretta losing the car, cold tires, fast corner.
Yeah.
Just doesn't work.
Just doesn't work. 6 corners. 6 corners for Michael Smeedle there to take the race lead.
Must be a new record.
Fastest.
6 positions in 6 corners.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Yep. Not too bad at all. So that was Michael Smeedle's start to the race. Absolutely fantastic. That's the start you really want in these races, isn't it? You want to get a good start, clean start. Bit of contact in front of him that nearly put one of the cars into the side of him. That car managed to keep it together.
Yeah, sometimes it just works for you.
Yeah.
You know, because you never know what's going to happen at their race start. You know, someone loses the car, someone has a crash and needs to brake, and you bump into them. So lucky on that side, but still, he's a master at starts. You know, so he always gains places.
This is David Seed, 3 wide at one point. This is again lap 1. That's Smeedle just in front of him on the inside, and look at this. Seed, the red car on the left. Oh.
Who was the car in the red? Is that Iskro? That was Iskro. It's the red car with the green mirrors of the Kemptal simulator.
And Iskro was starting up the order. I think it was P6. Yep. So yeah, Devin Iskro bouncing off the wall into then the 2 cars next to him.
Interesting, yeah.
Let's keep an eye. So we're looking at the red car with the green wing mirrors this side near the wall. He's obviously made that move because the orange car is slow.
Yeah, and then understeers into the barrier, so must have lifted. And is this Sanchez? I believe that's Sanchez.
So that's then what happened to Alejandro Sanchez at the start. So that's why Sanchez was down the order. Should Iskro have lifted and backed out of that move completely?
Yeah, definitely.
But not only because of the fact he's understeered into the corner. If we see here, there we go. We're on with, it is Sanchez.
Yeah.
So that's what happened, Sanchez. So not only is Iskro, who's going to be on the outside, going to understeer into this part of the track, then he's going to become a right-hander. So he's too tight to the wall.
Sanchez got sandwiched here because you saw right away that Sanchez left enough space for the car on the inside and for the outside, and Iskro just bumped into the barrier there. And then pushing,
it's the layout
getting bounced back.
It's the layout of the circuit and where the barriers started to come onto the track because of the right-hander.
Yeah.
Iskro's got to be aware of this and he's got to back out because, like you say, Sanchez has left him the room originally. That gap's then going to disappear because of the nature of the circuit.
Yeah, you know, it's easy for us in hindsight to say that he would have, right? It's not easy to actually have awareness what's going on around you because you only have the rear mirror on top of your screen. You don't have the side mirror. So you need to have a very good awareness of your surroundings. And in this case, it just didn't go according to Iskro's plan.
Didn't work out for Devin Iskro. So that was a bit of an incident there, which really put Alejandro Sanchez on the back foot early on in this race, demoted him down towards the back of the pack. But he fought well to get through the pack, to get to P5 eventually. I said on commentary there, he had to treat it like a knockout qualifying session. Every lap it could be your last, just to keep pushing.
Yeah, indeed. And I think this is what he did. He defended well in the beginning and also towards the end. Valverde was hot on his tails.
Who
was that? That's Holstein and
Teufel.
The 2 friends stepping over each other.
Hopefully we can see this from Jean's point of view. So that's Holstein to the left of him, avoiding Sanchez there. So Holstein's got the inside line for the corner.
So Sanchez... underestimates the speed that the guys are in front doing through that corner because it's first lap, right? It's first lap, double penalty points we have to still keep in mind. Just that, maybe that's a little bit the lack of his experience this year, with the cars going through, together at the start, full tires. Maybe that's a little bit
similar to what you just said about the Devin Iskro one, really. Just that lack of awareness, potentially, of the speed he's carrying.
Yeah, potentially. But this was a smaller mistake in that regard.
Oh, yeah, smaller mistake. But in terms of carrying the speed into the corner, he's obviously misjudged his braking. And what we've seen today is we've not seen errors where cars have come together or anything. We've seen a lot of driver errors that have led to incident.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, the guys, they want to race. They want to get some points, some prize money. Stuff like this can happen. We don't want to see it, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work for you. And especially in this case here with Duffin and with Holstein, possibly John didn't see what's going on ahead of Holstein, right? But you have to be super aware at the start, especially that nothing is like in the hot lapping sessions, right? So you have to be careful. Maybe you need to brake a bit earlier than usual.
Especially that one.
Exactly, to avoid that. And especially, as you said, lap 1, double penalty points.
Not even the double penalty points, the congestion of everybody being
congestion,
so
yeah.
tight.
And you can ruin your race in lap 1 only.
Yeah, of course you can. Let's talk about Marcus Valverde a little bit.
Yeah.
Who, P11.
Oh, actually, both of the guys.
Oh, both the guys. Augustin seemed to get caught up in a few incidents. He didn't have a great result. Both had pace, though. Was pretty much similar on the track in terms of where they was most of the race.
Yeah.
For Valverde, nearly a 10th place. Obviously, not scoring points, not getting prize money for this. But that got to give him a bit of confidence for the rest of the Challenger League season. And then if he makes that step up into the Racer League.
Yeah, I can tell you why he didn't get P10. Because I told the guys, no crashes with Racer League drivers. Otherwise, you get the penalty points for the Challenger League as well, right? You carried them over.
A bit more careful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Marcus was super careful there, and he did a great job, as did Augustin, right? Because he was at one point right next to him. I think then he had that spin. Maybe, accelerating out of the corner and then spinning. This is what happened why he ended the race at the back.
Indeed it is. I believe we can confirm the podium for you then. Just waiting for word to say that this is a confirmed podium. It is confirmed podium. We've just received word that it is confirmed podium. Michael Smeedle is your race winner from Enrique Marinon and Sebastian Hirsch P3. So they can now fully relax, fully celebrate their podiums and everything. As we are about to go and do a podium celebration. Sebastian Hirsch will obviously receive his P3 trophy first. But they can now relax. They're confirmed. They're locked in. They can enjoy themselves.
They can enjoy themselves. They can wait for the prize money. Obviously, huge prize money at Racing Unleashed. Second time we actually had 2 drivers on the podium here in Munich in the Racer League. So let's wait and see how they do. And Sebastian is waiting there already. Waiting for his first podium.
His first ever podium at Racing Unleashed. Sebastian Hirsch is going to be the man to step onto P3. And he says he sees all the guys collecting their trophies and their medals in the Racer and Challenger League. Well, he gets one this time. Sebastian Hirsch is going to take P3 in the Racer League for the Zurich Airport circuit. We now get to head over to Madrid, as we will then see Enrique Marinon come onto the podium, and they look like they've got the confetti at the ready here today. Here comes Enrique Marinon to step onto the podium, and the confetti cannons go off. Kind of
struggling.
Second place. Can we get it? Yes.
No, don't.
No, he's given up. He's given up. Only the one confetti cannon for Enrique Marinon, and a bigger round of applause for everybody in the racing lounge.
Awesome job.
Yeah,
well
fantastic.
Done. Very cool.
Good support in Madrid.
Yeah, super.
As we are now then going to head back to Munich to get our race winner of Michael Smeedle. And the anthems really do bring a different vibe to the lounges when you hear your national anthem being played?
Yeah, the drivers must be proud to hear that. Obviously, it's not something that really happens in sim racing, I believe. So to get that anthem into the show really is something that I think the drivers like, and I also like to see. Maybe the crowd as well.
No pressure. No pressure, but if anybody out there lives in Wales or is from Wales, get yourself into the Challenger League, try and win a race, because I'd love to hear the Welsh national anthem on the Racing Unleashed channel. Next up, though, is Monza, the 1st and 2nd of September. Qualifying opens on the 21st of August for the Challenger League. We'll be bringing you every bit of action from Challenger and Racer League live. 7 p.m, 1st of September, Challenger League. 10:30 a.m, September the 2nd. Racer League, thank you all for tuning in. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.
Can't overtake, he said. Augustin Torlacci, a very happy man on the simulator as well.
This is Racing Unleashed.